Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And we are here for the PEL Gamer Gear Direct Australian GT3 Short Endurance Championship Round 6 live from Magny-Cours. I am James Barfitt, going to be joined in the booth, not by Scotty Rankin this week because he's out on track, but I have got the wonderful man who always pays his debts when he needs to, which has been pretty much every single round, Mr. P. Baxter, in the booth with me here today as well. Pete, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Hey, Mad Englishman. Thanks. I'm very well. Happy to be here. And yes, the mad commentator Scotty Rankin did say that he was going to be on track tonight, so I figured I'd be sharing more time in the booth with you. I must admit I have paid all of my debts, but we've got to have another wager, right? Scotty's on track, and he's driving, of all cars, a Porsche. So I'm going to have another bet with you, and it's going to be that Scotty's going to get the Porsche round the 2 hours tonight without the Porsche doing Porsche things. Are you in?
I'm in, but I will say I have been watching practice, and it's not been the Porsche going well. So I'm in. I'm there. You know, we'll come up with a forfeit or something at the end of the race if it happens. But but I don't know if it's going to. Magny-Cours itself. Now, this is one of these circuits, Pete, that people either specifically love or they hate with a passion. What is it for you at Magny-Cours? I've got to be honest with you. I am not a lover of this circuit.
This is a good thing. This is why commentators come together. I love it. I love it for a number of reasons. This was the first circuit I ever did a sim race on. And it was in a full motion Formula One simulator and with a couple other guys. And it's my memories of first full on simulator. It was about 2015, nearly 10 years ago now. And I just absolutely loved it. And in the full motion simulator, that was a 6 degree of freedom thing, you know, the hills, the ups and downs, the curbs, everything that, you just got so immersed in it, and it gives you a bit of everything. It's got Grand Prix width about it. It's made for motorbikes, essentially. So it's got off-camber corners, it's got on-camber corners. And so in a car, you can lose it if you outbrake. It's got corners that are blind chicanes you've got to prepare for. And I also love the fact that it's named with corners from all around the world. Okay, you go through Grand Courbet, Estoril, Gulf, Adelaide, the hairpin, the next chicane, Nürburgring, 180, Imola, Chateau de Leitchi. So if people think we're talking about the wrong circuit tonight by naming some of the corners, we've got to remind them that it's the French. They really don't have a lot of wild ideas to themselves, so they've used the rest of us to name their circuit.
Yeah, the difference is as well. Good evening, Dean McKay. Welcome into YouTube chat there, buddy. The names of the circuit are parts of the circuit they've used. All right. So the names of the circuit are parts of the circuit that's been used to construct Magny-Cours. Imola is the famous one it's the right left. I believe it's down at Tamburello, turn 1. The Adelaide is obviously Adelaide hairpin. Nürburgring is the right left of Schumacher S's. That's been modelled on the circuit as well. So it's kind of like COTA in a way, Pete. It's taken a little bit of every other circuit and put it together and made it into one. You know, it did host Formula One as well, right up until 2008. It's held motorcycle racing as well. You know, it's done it all, but it is a makeup of other circuits at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe that's why I like it so much, because it's got a little bit of really cool stuff all around it. But yeah, mainly I just got memories of that first ever sim race, and I loved it so much. But so let's talk about the temperature though. Cold temperature, 20 degree track temperature, 19 degree ambient. So we should be seeing fast times, mate, and a whole lot of grip in those Porsches doing Porsche things.
Yeah, hopefully we won't see the back end of the Porsches go round. Of course, no promises there as well. So we'll see how we get on. Track temps on the right-hand side, you see, well, it's actually gone up to 21 degrees just there at 2:15 in the afternoon. So keep an eye on the situation. Last time out at Algarve. Now, that's where we was last time out as well. Dean Mackay was the winner overall. He was the winner in the Elite. And then we had Isaac Curtis, the winner in the Challenger. Now, what has that done roughly to the standings at this moment in time? Well, Jamie Saxon still leads the Challenger class there as well, with Isaac Curtis in second. However, Isaac is looking very, very fast here today. So I think this could be very, very interesting for them indeed to see how they get on and see how they go. In the Elites, obviously, Dean Mackay out in front on 1792. Stewie Shaw 1408 in second. So that's going to be an interesting one at the same time. Lots of interesting battles still to go, and we've still got 2 more rounds left on us with Magny-Cours and Watkins Glen coming up.
Yeah, and Dean Mackay's not in the server tonight, mate. So has he wrapped up the championship? If it's 385 points, it's still a quick calculation. It's interesting to note that we haven't seen him tonight and hasn't qualified. So our championship leader, not here.
No, it's not. He's in YouTube chat currently. So there we go. Sean Bonucci, join us, Jess, he says, as Jesse McMiniman is there as well. So Stewie Shaw, basically, if he took the win, he would move within close proximity. Now, the drop scores don't get taken until after this round, so they can't drop the final round. So it'll be taken after this round, then we will know what the drop score is. At the moment, the drop score for Dean Mackay is 285, which is his lowest score. The drop score for Stewie Shaw is 132. So at the moment, Stewie needs a good old race here today to basically make up for the fact that Dean's not here. Now, Dean, if you are in YouTube chat, let us know why you're not here. We will bring you up the grid after the warm-up. We can't do it before, unfortunately. So, you know, that could make it very, very interesting as well.
No, it is. I just did the quick count. 384. Stewie Shaw is 384 points behind Dean Mackay. But then, yeah, you've got to consider the 132 points that he'll lose as the drop round at the end of this round. So that will put him 133 points behind Dean at the end of this round, even if Dean does a 0 round. So yeah, and with all things, got to race the last round. So the last round can't be dropped. Must be one of these 6. So Dean might just be having a night off, mate. No, we got this. Let's take it to the round 7.
Yeah, he couldn't make the round. We'll be back in strong form for Watkins. Now, obviously, if he does get a 0, that's going to 0 his score out. For instance, if Stewie does win this one, he's going to be literally alongside, what's he going to be on? I'm trying to do maths, Pete. Help me out. 385 and 1400, 1790.
He'll be 133 points behind Dean, right? So Stewie wins, he'll be 133 points behind Dean, which means the title is up for grabs at the final round. And that's exciting, right? So by not being able to make it, Dean's still got a shot at taking the championship, but he's going to have a good race in round 7. Yeah. It's not like he can wrap it up. So, which means we're going for some excitement in the final round, and we'll have to get the mad commentator out of that car and back into the booth for that one.
Well, we'll have to see if Scotty does make it for the final round, or if he's going to go and drive in that round. To be honest, I can't tell you on that one. We'll bring you up the grid very, very shortly. Don't forget, guys, like, subscribe, turn on the bells, whether you're on the PL or if you're on JPB. That would be absolutely amazing. It helps out both channels, so it should be a very, very interesting race. One that's going to be tough. I think traffic, if it starts becoming traffic, Pete's going to play a massive part here due to the nature of the circuit. Yes, you can make the overtake, and yes, you should be able to do it easily, but it doesn't always work out like that.
No, look, Adelaide's probably the best place for an overtake on the whole track. Everything else you kind of might need to force it. But I think you're about to go to the grid here. We've got some really big news from Premier Endurance League to talk about too over the course of this session. But let's get the grid when you're ready, mate. Over to you. Yeah,
here we go. The grid is there. Sam Chapman is on pole position with Stewie Shaw in second. Good qualifying. Owen Coleman in third and Scotty Rankin in fourth. Trent Allen in fifth. Rain Campbell sixth. Tommy Wallace in seventh. Andrew Dutch in eighth. Dan Magri in ninth in the Audi. Ricky Provenzali in the Porsche in 10th place. James Mason there in 11th at this moment in time on the grid in the BMW, with Richard Mayer in 12th. So a nice strong top 12 of elites. Behind that we've got Alan Dawson, Leif McClimer, Isaac Curtis taking pole in the Challenger class, Glenn Arnott in 16th, Benjamin Brook in 17th, Vinnie Nguyen in 18th, Mark Foster 19th, and Matt Carrick rounds out the top 20. Then you got Alfonso Latella in 21st, Martin Hanlon 22nd, Nick Bottrell in 23rd, and Matt Webber in 24th. Eli Donaldson 25th, Adrian Gretsch 26th, Jamie Saxon down in 27th, leader of the Challengers of course, Jesse McMiniman 28th, Dean Reddit in 29th, Jimmy Middleton down in 30th, Michael Thompson, who's new to the series this week, with Sean Benici in 32nd place. Then Nathaniel Coburn and Kurt Nommenson with Roy Koistra in 35th, Bobby Kimura in 36th, Martin Lipsky, Nigel Siddell, who's also another new one to this week, Stefan Mellis, Chris Ruddle and Brandon O'Loughlin. Obviously Scotty Bartain driving the safety car. So on to the pace lap. What are we thinking here, Pete? How long before everything, if we get any drama?
Adelaide, first turn. But what I'm liking is, I'm liking the fact that the Challenger class, the top group of the Challenger class in the championship, have all qualified well. As Isaac, Eli Donaldson seems to be a bit out of place, so he's down the field. We'll watch him come through. But everybody else is they're semi where they are in the championship, so looking pretty normal. And you'll see the bright green lime milkshake, a copycat there of Scotty Rankin's Porsche. Taken on a little bit of the Foster love and care with that colour, mate. So Scotty's going to stand out. He'll be probably known as the Rankin Foster car tonight. And credits to Fozzie for letting Scotty steal his copyrighted lime thick shake colour.
Is he going to keep it on track though, Mr. Baxter?
Of course he is, mate. That's my bet, right? My bet is Scotty Rankin's going to keep the Porsche on track for 2 hours. Your bet is that Scotty Rankin's going to have the Porsche doing Porsche things at some stage during the race.
Absolutely. I think this circuit it will lend itself to somebody in a Porsche doing something. Now, whether Scotty's going to get the rush of adrenaline and be like, oh, I'm in fifth, I think on here as well, and I'm going to go, and then he ends up going round. So I'm hoping he doesn't, because, you don't wish any drama on anybody, right? Because that's just rubbish. So I hope he doesn't, and I will have to take a forfeit. It'd be good to actually lose a bet for a change, because I've won every other one, Pete, haven't I, really?
It's not reminding me. I keep making these bets and I'm paying out big time. No, look at it, and it's all in good fun, right? You got to have these sorts of things, and you got to pay it back. But that's all a bit of fun. But look, I've done a lot of races with Scotty. He's got a level head. He's not that kind of guy that will make dumb moves. As we know in these things, anything can happen. And, through the Nürburgring and that 180 corner in particular, really, really tough corner to get right. And if you're a little bit fast and a little bit late on the brakes when you try and turn into that 180 corner, that's the most likely place where somebody's going to lose it. And then you get the 12-13 up to the Imola, that little chicane up the hill there. Another little place where if you just overshoot it a bit, might be a bit dangerous for the first lap. So really looking forward to how they settle in. You'd like to think that they're going to settle in, but, JP, you know what drivers are like. The red mist is probably just about to descend on nearly all of them. As soon as that pace car falls off, that red mist is in their eyes, and, all sense of credibility, of fairness, it's goes out the window. It's how do I win?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are going to be green very, very shortly. We've got one more chicane on the racetrack to go. You see the pace car pulls in. Sam Chapman has not even waited. He has gone. Ladies and gentlemen, round 6 is up and running. We are green, green, green. 2 hours to go. And Sam Chapman already bounced out in front. Stewie Shaw got in there with him in second. Owen Coleman third. Scotty Rankin in fourth. Then Rain Campbell, Alan Wallace, Dutch, Magri and Provenzali. I tell you what, though, Chapman is under pressure from Stewie Shaw on the run down into Adelaide, which is where we said most of the overtakes should play. So it should take place. Shaw on the left, Chapman on the right, and it looks like Stewie Shaw's going to take the lead, but before we've even got into Adelaide, Pete, he's on a mission already.
Yeah, no, Sam Chapman just lost out to front cold tyres then and just went a little bit wide as he come through Grand Corbe through turns 1 and 2. There's a little bit of crash up the back there. That's a mid-pack.
That is not a little bit, Pete. That is not a little bit. I've got Isaac Curtis, Richard Meyer, Mark Foster, Martin Hanlon, Eli Donaldson, Nick Bottrell, Jamie Saxon, Adrian Gretsch, Jesse McMiniman, Dean Reddit, Sean Benici, Michael Thompson, Rui Coy-Easter and Brandon O'Loughlin, all involved at the moment as well. We'll have a look back at that one very, very shortly indeed. We'll let the first lap play out at least here before we start going through what went on there. But that was a big old moment at the back end of the field. I'm surprised we're not under safety car. I'm hoping that they all managed to get through nice and cleanly from it, but Stewie Shaw has done an absolute barnstorming job as he comes down into Complex de Leche, the one-along right-handers here before we go into the chicane for the end of lap 1. Looked like a mass drama, Pete. We'll have a look back and see what went on, but it seems to be a little bit dramatic at the end, beginning of race 1.
Yeah, good news is, mate, looking at the track map, just about everybody's got going again, so let's see if we can find out what happened. Going into Adelaide there, how's that call? Lap 1 going into Adelaide. Oh, a little bit too deep.
Yep.
Way too deep.
Isaac Curtis.
It's Isaac Curtis. Oh, and everybody else seems to have got through pretty cleanly. Maybe a couple of touch and bumps, but I think Isaac Curtis is going to have to go and answer to the stewards for that one.
Yeah, I think it is going to be definitely a written apology coming from Isaac Curtis there. That could explain why everybody else got held up and why the software said that everybody else had crashed, because everybody else was rather slow at this moment in time. Martin Lipsky is not on in first place at this moment in time. Okay, it is Stuart Shaw. Not entirely sure why all of a sudden Martin Lipsky has jumped to the top of the timing tower, but he is not in front. Stewie Shaw is at this moment in time leading away with Chapman there as well. Rain Campbell tucked in at the moment behind Owen Coleman as well on the run through Imola, the right left. Then we've got Chateau on the right hand as well coming up here. This is one of these circuits, Pete, I find it's challenging because it's so consistent. It's a flow circuit. If you haven't got your flow at Magny-Cours, you do end up struggling.
No, absolutely. It's a beautiful flow circuit. But it's got a couple of places where you do get to take a little bit of a breather. So down the main straight, you can come right out onto that green patch there and drive that quite wide and make your entry. You can see all the cars doing that right now. Make that entry into turn 1 nice and wide. A lot of speed in doing that too. And as we know, you're allowed to do that in the Premier Endurance League, although that's one of the announcements we'll talk about when we get a chance, mate. But massive flow. But as you get onto this main straight, you do get a nice little breather as you head up towards Adelaide, but you've got to be right on your braking marker to get that hairpin.
Yeah, what you don't want to do is be tucked in so close to behind the person in front of you, miss your own braking marker, and you end up going torpedoing through people. And yes, that has happened, and yes, that I have seen that consistently here as well at certain parts of it. Drive-through penalty for car number 911. Isaac Curtis, lap 1, causing an incident. That really wasn't a surprise whatsoever, Pete, was it?
No, I thought we could telegraph that one. Saw that one coming a long way to go. But, look, Isaac's got to, take that penalty, calm down. It's going to drop him back a little bit, but long way to go. And as you know, in these 2-hour races, safety cars come back into play. And once you've served the penalty, a safety car just brings you back into the field and you can get to go from there. So, just cop it. Massive mistake there. But, that's a good call by race control as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it was a fairly obvious one. I think he come from miles away and ended up causing mass drama. So, there we go. Benjamin Brook leading the challengers at this moment in time. He's got Matt Carrick and Martin Hallinan, who is also in that challenger class, sitting in behind him currently. And you see on the left-hand side there as well that you can see the splits coming up from the classes. And at the moment, there's a lot going on. Brook, Hallinan, and Shaw and Chapman. So still loads taking place, and we have only really just got going. We are about 6 minutes in to a 2-hour race. Still plenty of time, but I can tell you one thing, Dan Magry climbing all over the back of Tommy Wallace here, giving him a whole heap of grief.
And Dan Magry, as we know, Dan Magry's fast, and he's been able to pull off some really surprising strategies and get some great results. So let me know. But hey, you just mentioned we're 6 minutes in. I've got to talk to you and tell everybody about the fuel tank and the pit stop strategy tonight, JP. So it's 80% fuel tanks tonight. So that means that the cars are going to be on track at full green for about 52 minutes. All right, so we're getting pretty close to the hour. So we've still got a 2-stop race, but if you've got 1 or 2 safety cars, JP, it could be a 1-stop race at the right time. So it's a really interesting for me. Last at Algarve, we had quite a small fuel tank, and we had a 3-stop race stretched with safety cars. That made it really interesting. This one we've got more fuel, but one of the things that can happen in the GT3 when you got much more fuel, particularly these guys that are driving the cars with the front fuel tanks, is the car balance changes so much, going from 80% to 0%, and that can get drivers as well. That can keep them on the toes. So we've got a bigger fuel tank tonight, bigger than usual in most of these races. 53 minutes. So we're going to be looking at around about that 50-minute mark. We'll start to see the pit stops play out. Not really much of an overcut window. It's only quite small tonight. So if somebody's going to do it, they're going to have to really do their maths and know when they can do it. So I think what we're going to see now is we're going to see just a lot of cars on track, driving. Speaking of the devil, Ricky Provenzale comes into the pit. So, as I say, a lot of cars that are doing heaps of driving. Ricky comes and does a pit stop.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what went on. He's dropped right the way down the order for Ricky, and I'm wondering why that situation is. I've got no incidents of him saying that he's had a crash or anything. Did he just have one of them?
I do. Let me find it and I'll come back to you.
Yeah, because I think he's had a moment somewhere, but this is under the green flag. It doesn't look like he has any dramas going on, but we'll keep an eye and find out why Ricky's all of a sudden plummeted down the order. Alfonso Latella has got Jimmy Middleton, who has also got Jamie Saxon in behind. This is a battle down in that Challenger class, of course, once more, but which is led by Ben Brook, leading it with Martin Hallen, and I'm wondering if that's the situation with Isaac Curtis. On that one, he was rushing to get to the front end. You can see there Benjamin Brook almost being pushed out a little bit by Matt Carrick on that inside line on the run down into Complex Delici now. You see on the left hand side there is Carrick. Is he going to be able to make it through? He does make it through currently and it gets the job done. So Matt Carrick from the right Sim Racing puts Ben Brook back alongside the Martin Hanlon, leader of the Challengers at the moment. This battle hotting up, Pete.
Oh, yeah, no, and mate, to come back to you, yes, Ricky Provenzale was involved in quite a big incident on lap 1 by the looks of it with Alan Dawson and Glenn Arnott. So those guys have had a coming together through the Nürburgring chicane, and it's put Ricky off. It's done a whole lot of damage to the back of the car. So he's coming early to use his fast repair and get going.
I wonder if it's here. It looks like it's here, doesn't it?
This is it, yep.
Yep. Bang, round he goes. And puts Provenzale.
He hasn't held the car up, yep. He's done all that damage.
Yeah, straight into the wall there, unfortunately for Ricky, but still very, very interesting indeed. Brook is now in with Halloran. Halloran has got Foster in behind in that lime green DMT machine. Then further up in the lead is Stewie Shaw. He's out in front by 9/10. Foz is under attack here. Is he going to be able to hold this, and for how long? What are we thinking in the early stages of this race, Pete? Right, I find when you got something like this, we're not quite endurance length for 4, 5, 6 hours. We're not quite sprint race length. Where are we? What are we doing in this car right now? Are we just trying to consolidate and hold on to positions? What's the situation that we think we've got going on at the moment?
Oh, I certainly think you're trying to consolidate and hold on to positions, but I don't think you're going to race too hard because you can tear these tyres apart. And given that we've got that bigger fuel tank, we're going to rely on these tyres going now to 80%. Now, GT3 tyres in iRacing are generally pretty good for 1 or 2 stints, right? It's a reasonably good tyre model if you look after them. But if you've got to do a whole lot of defence and as we saw with Fozzie there, you got a little bit of understeer coming out of the Lychee, that last corner going into the last chicane there. A little bit of understeer. If you do that too much, you're going to tear the fronts up, and you're just going to continually get more and more understeer. The other thing that's on Fozzie's mind, though, is the 3 cars behind him are all elite challengers. So in terms of his championship, he's not in a race with those guys, and being elite, you'd expect that they might be a little bit faster anyway. But if they race themselves, he might get a gap and just have his own breathing.
Yeah, he might at the moment. You can see, oh, that's never going to work. Oh, Eli Donaldson, Matt Webber, 5-second penalty for Bobby Kimura, lap 5, causing an incident. So Bobby Kimura's got a 5-second penalty as well. That could have been a lot more dramatic than it was there for Eli Donaldson. He managed to hold on to it, Pete. There was an opportunity when times where he might not have done.
That's one of the great things about this track, right? You can have a go. It's so nice and wide. You can get cars together, but every overtake, even on a nice wide track like this, needs cooperation between 2 drivers, and it can be really stressful when that cooperation is not necessarily there. But look, Eli's going to, as I said, I called him out earlier, but he didn't really qualify that well for where you'd normally expect Eli to be racing. So he's going to have to work hard to make his way back up through the grid, and that's probably how his race is going to be tonight. He's not going to be settling for position, where somebody like Fozzie might be going, actually, I'm doing all right here. I've got a few challenges in front of me. He's got 2 challenges in front of him, but they're the 2 cars in front of him that he can see. So Fozzie's sitting all right from a championship perspective, but he's got these elite guys that are going to nip on his back end very shortly.
Yeah, I think it's going to be all coming along very, very nicely. What sort of lap time situations are we at the moment? We're on the 38s. 38 for Stu Shaw, 37.87 for Chapman, 37.71 for Owen Campbell. Owen Coleman, and Rain Campbell on a 38.05 as these guys are not letting up. Eli Donaldson is not allowing Webber an absolute inch of breathing space at the moment in time. Through 180 they go. They're going to be on the run out to Imola, and Donaldson's looking a little bit feisty here, Pete. He's definitely not holding back at this moment in time.
Yeah, but I don't think Nick Bottrell's going to give him too much anyway, mate. I think Nick's going to give him everything that he's given the car in front of him as well. So a really good 3-way battle here for, and these elite class drivers. Oh, there's Eli having a big dive. Wow, and you made it. Oh, look at that, coming back at all. Little bit of a touch, nothing into that. Just go on, guys, race hard. That's fantastic.
Donaldson went for it there as well over Webber. Webber's now coming in as well. Nick Bottrell puts it right away in there. Oh no. That was never going to work. Never going to work. You can't do it, Pete. You can't go too wide.
Can't go too through a chicane. It never works, does it?
No.
Never ever works.
No.
Oh, poor old Nick. He was doing well there. He was getting on the back. Oh, well, back into it. Head down. Fight on, Nicky.
Yeah, Webber now has got McMinimum in behind. Lost a little bit of time to Donaldson. The battle up front is becoming a little bit feisty. Shuey Shaw, Sam Chapman, Owen Coleman and Rain Campbell are continuing to fight. These top 4 here as well. Trent Allen is in the background in 5th place at the same time. Stewie Shaw clearly at this moment in time, Pete, is not going to be fuel saving whatsoever because he's not going to be able to.
No, 37 fours, and they're running 37, so they're running pretty hard. This top 5 has pulled away from Scotty Rankin with a 2.5-second gap there from 5th to 6th. But I know Dan Magry's right up with Scotty, so putting the pressure on there as a little pair. But yeah, this top 5 is showing their class, and they're just slowly eking themselves out and away. And it looks like these are the guys that we're going to look at that'll compete for the win tonight.
Yeah, you see Chapman lost a little bit of time to Shaw over lap 8 and 9. Shaw lost chunks over 5, 6 and 7. So that could be explained why the battle has come back in. There's a penalty behind that. 5-second penalty for Matt Webber on lap 9 for causing an incident.
Alrighty, I'll go and see if we can find that one, mate. If you want to.
That's not with Bottrell's one, is it?
No, Nick Bottrell's called that in. He's had another look at that, so that'll be under race control, and we'll see how that goes.
Is it this one? I'm wondering if it's the one where they went too wide through the chicane. A little bit harsh if that is it there. Alfonso Latella is here currently in his Corvette. He's got McMinimum in front. Saxon, he's just actually cleared McMinimum. So McMinimum is now behind Latella. On the left-hand side there, you can see once again, Latella has got McMinimum tucked in right behind. If that is for that incident, I believe that might be a little bit harsh. But Owen Coleman, Rain Campbell, Trent Allen still continuing to fight up the front. It looks like Bobby Kimura's had another incident. Brandon O'Loughlin also off the side of the circuit. Nathaniel Coburn, Bobby Kimura, Richard Mayer have all had a coming together. So this is Nathaniel Coburn. What has he done in this? Oh my dearie me. Where are you going, Mr. Bobby Kimura?
Oh, that's just, again, overly ambitious and the sort of thing that I really don't like seeing in sim races. I don't understand why we have sim races that just make really big dives like that. And he's even cut the corner. Look, he has got to pay the price for race control for that. That's damaged two other cars, including his own, hurt their races. There's some things I can talk about in terms of penalties, but there's, that I'm going to say that is just blatant stupidity.
Yeah, I think as we call it up here, it's a zero IQ moment of driving there for Bobby Kimura. Whatever punishment was handed out, I'm sure, was fully just. Rankin under pressure from Magri, still keeping the car going forward. 20 minutes in. Obviously, it's still early days here for Scotty Rankin. The field's starting to settle down a little bit. You can see on the left-hand side, gaps starting to extend to over half a second. Alfonso Latella and McMinimum, however, have swapped places again. And McMinimum in there once again with Latella. So they're in and around the fight. That's Matt Webber in front of them in the Ferrari, and he's got Latella and McMinimum tucked in right behind. Probably one of the closest battles. You can see, as I say, on the left hand side, everything out to above half a second nearly as well. There's a couple that are under, Rain Campbell being one of them. 10-second penalty for Matt Webber on lap 8 for causing an incident. So that's 15 seconds for Matt Webber here, Pete. He's racking them up.
Yeah, well, if you're going to drive, you're going to drive. But like I said, I mean, I'm not going to comment too much on those ones because I haven't seen all of the angles for that. The big dives, I think they're absolutely blatant straightforward. But my race control head says to me, I've got to see a number of other angles on those others before I can really make a qualified comment on at fault. But I'll leave that. That's what we have the race control in there to do tonight.
2 secs, Rain Campbell. Rain and Owen Coleman were side by side. Rain has just passed Coleman on that run down into Adelaide. Rain in the Audi, Coleman in the BMW. And now Coleman, just for good health, has got a looming, gruffing Ford of Trent Allen in behind him as well. Textbook manoeuvre there. Pete down into Adelaide, takes the inside line, job done.
Now, I noticed that Owen Coleman dropped off about a second from Sam Chapman through that last lap. So not sure whether he picked up a slowdown somewhere and has just had to lift off, and that's what's given Rain Campbell the run into Adelaide. But yeah, he just, on the timing monitor, he's just sitting within, he was sitting within half a second, but then all of a sudden he just sort of dropped to about 1.2, 1.3 seconds behind. So I suspect he's got to slow down somewhere, and that's what's cost him the position. So he's going to get back onto it. But we also know that Owen Campbell's one of our best fuel savers, isn't he? Owen Campbell, one of our best fuel savers. So he might have decided that instead of trying to race all these guys, it might become a fuel game from here.
Yeah, Coleman, you can see lap times on the bottom with Allen. That's in conjunction with Allen behind him. And you can see at the moment, Allen has been quicker over 8, 9, 11 and 12. In front for Coleman is Campbell. Campbell was quicker on 8, 11 and 12 again. There's the damage, 12, 1.3 seconds. You can see now Trent Allen going up the inside. Looks like he's going to get the job done over Coleman as well. The Mustang on the right He's going to have that gruff, of course. Coleman in the Porsche alongside him, not quite as good at top speed. Here we go. Are they going to be able to get through? No! Bouncing off the curb for Trent Allen. Hold your... All right, don't hold the brakes.
Side by side through a chicane again, mate. What are these guys thinking?
10-second penalty for Bobby Kimura. Yeah, I agree, Pete. I literally agree with you. I don't get why why they're doing this. I'm struggling to see. You can see the overtake here. This is the run leading up to it. Now, you can see Coleman on the left-hand side, but what we've got to watch is on that Ford Mustang, if you watch Allen, he bounces the curb on the way in, and that puts him all out of sorts. Look, bang. And then, unfortunately, he was squeezed as well. Not going to deny that one, but, yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to be a part of that.
No, I don't understand why these guys through chicane. I mean, chicanes are essentially a one-lane thing, right? And they're designed to slow the cars down for safety in the long run. But I don't understand why these guys are fighting, particularly through the last one. I mean, that's a one lane for sure. Lift your throttle and give it up, and race on another day and get them in Adelaide. Because you lose 10 to 15 positions, if not more, doing something that you don't need to do. But look, it gives Trent, it gives us someone else to watch coming back up through the field. A little bit of side by side thing there, and the race control guys will have a look at it and they'll make their own decision. We'll see what happens out of it.
Yeah, Alan lost another place to Vinnie Nguyen now, so I don't know if Alan may have copped a slowdown for that one, but he has lost another place. Foz has still got Donaldson in behind, Brook in front, and Hanlon in front of that. This is, of course, for the Challenger class lead. Martin Hanlon is out in front with Brook and Foz in behind. Dean Redditt looks like he was just tucked up in a nice little battle until he went off this. By the looks of it, that battle sort of rescinded now and unfortunately gone down. Mellis looks like he's had a crash. Nathaniel Coburn is another one, but they're all starting to settle in a little bit now. You can see they're getting a little bit more spread out on the left-hand side there, but you can see everything that's orange, yellow above half a second. It's starting to spread out a little bit.
Except for our Challenger class, which are the three we're watching. And now, if I was Fozzie, this is what I'd do, mate. I would let Eli Donaldson go, right? Because you're not racing him.
Yep.
And I would let him go, and Eli's going to be a little bit more aggressive, and I would let him be more aggressive on the cars in front of me, because that would slow them down. And then, potentially, if something happens, then you drive straight through the gap, right? If I was Fozzie, that's what I'd be doing.
Yeah, I agree. Adam, contact with Owen before turning. Yeah, there was a little bit, but he also hit the curb. So I think it probably, I don't know. We're going to leave it to RC on that one, Adam. As much as I love sitting here, debating incidents, I could be here all day on certain ones when it's probably just for me to go, RC, over to you. And we'll see what comes out of it here as well. Donaldson is alongside Foz. Just let him go. Foz, it's really not going to make a massive difference to you. Let Eli Donaldson go, and as you say, Pete, let him cause a little bit of dramatics up in front of him, and hopefully Foz might be able to pick him up.
No, absolutely, and tuck him behind Eli and use his draft to get a little bit more speed and get right up there.
They've done Coleman. 10-second penalty for Owen Coleman. So they deemed Coleman at fault for the incident with Allen.
Okay, that's an interesting call. Like I said, mate, there are some that I'm not going to comment on that one tonight. And
Pete Baxter, you're not commenting.
No, I can't. Right, and I can't because I am the appeals judge. So, like I said, when they're straightforward, and most people I think have worked that out by now in this league, but most things that are straightforward, happy to comment on, the ID10T errors that drivers have, and we're happy to comment. But when those sorts of things, unless I've got all of the angles that I would normally use, I'm going to leave that to the guys in race control, and not disagree with them publicly if I think it's disagreeing, but because we only get one or two angles here to have a look at. So that's why I won't comment. But it was a big call.
It definitely was. Coleman has just lost 2 places there. He's just lost a place to Rankin. for Owen Coleman. He's alongside Magri. Coleman in that Porsche in the black and red. Magri in the Riot Squad liveried Audi is pressurising him now in through 180. And I don't know if what's affecting Coleman, but he doesn't quite seem on it since that incident with Alan. And he looks like he's gone off the boil a little bit.
No, I actually think it's from a lap or two before he lost that place to Rain Campbell.
Oh, he's going round.
Yeah.
There goes the
I
Porsche.
think Owen's done his tyres and now he's done his car.
Yep.
That looked odd. That one looked odd. That could have even been a hardware failure. But I think Owen's overdone his tyres at some stage and he's just gone to drop off. You know, you can burn these tyres up. So maybe he's had a few lockups or something we haven't seen. And that's just causing. But
no hardware failure there, Pete.
No hardware failure.
Just Porsche doing Porsche things.
Just inability. Oh no, that's a bit unfair, mate. He did jump the curb.
I wondered how long it would take you to come back at me there, Pete.
No, that's not a Porsche doing Porsche thing.
A bit up there.
Unsighted, jumped the curb, and because he's right behind the car. No, that's not a Porsche doing Porsche things.
Oh, I don't know. Let's know YouTube chat what you think on that one. Is it Porsche doing Porsche things? Did he lose it after he jumped the curb around the exit? Let us know on that one. Settle it up in the booth. Sam Chapman still got Campbell in behind. Shaw's not escaping. He's still within a second at this moment in time. And Matt Webber is down here just about to pass. He did pass Coleman. Coleman is, well, beaten, unfortunately, in that machine. And I do expect at minimum to be able to get past at the same time. But it's all coming back together up front. The top three separated barely by a second.
Yeah, they are. But Coleman's drop off in pace is intriguing me. So one of the things I learnt through some various discussions with drivers is they've all used a different track to base their setup on and then refine it for tonight, because there's no purchasable tracks. GT3 hasn't raced at Magny-Cours yet. So the likes of VRS and the setup shops, they don't have setup. So I know Owen Coleman went for a Sebring-based setup and then tuned from there with quite high wing. And the feedback that I got from the secret Scotty Rankin source was that that setup had a whole lot of grip. So maybe it had too much grip and too much downforce. Other guys have used tracks that I was told somebody's used Red Bull Ring. Which I thought actually that's not a bad mimic of this to have a starting setup. I used the Algarve setup in some work that I did with Scotty originally, but he ended up dumping me. So turds for that. He can have a chocolate milkshake instead of a lime one next time I meet him.
Rude.
Very rude. Yeah, do all that work and he dumps my setup just before the race. No bugger. But anyway, and there was another one that was used. It was a Grand Prix style circuit as well. So a number of different setups for people to come in and then tune in the car. And that's one of the things that is particular to PEL. Is that most of these tracks, and I think over time we're going to go to tracks where most of the GT3s have been, but most of the tracks that have been chosen for racing haven't necessarily been done on the iRacing service before. So there's no, you can't just buy a setup and get in and run it. You've actually got to work out what works best. And for the likes of Stewie Shaw, Sam Chapman, Rain Campbell, I know Owen's having a bad night tonight. For those guys, to have gone as good as they have over time, it means that they're investing the time to get their setups right. They're choosing good starting setups and then they're doing the whole work. Oh, Owen's really having trouble.
Yeah, I'm surprised he got into the pits. I'm shocked he hasn't gone into the pits, and he's dropped all the way down to 32nd now as well. I did see, lap 12, turn 2 for Owen's steering contact and damage. I did see that, but then I'm wondering if he has got damage. Why didn't he go into the pits on that one? So
maybe it was just a little bit of damage that's put his wheels out of line. But the lap 12 was about when I noticed that first time where he's sort of dropping off time. So That makes a whole lot of sense, and a little bit of steering damage in one of these cars has a really big effect, particularly when you're on these sorts of tracks that have nice big windy things and require very good downforce. So yeah, he's going to have to come in and use his faster pair. I'm too surprised. Maybe he doesn't want to do a pit stop too early. Maybe he's fighting it to the end to hang on. But I'll tell you, it's costing him because he's dropped now down to
down in 37th. Yeah,
37. Yeah,
38th now as well. So it's not looking too great for Coleman. It's either make a decision and go in and me personally, I would have looked at it and said, I've got an hour and 40 minutes to remain in. I'm going to go in and take a 3-second stop here, get fuel, repair my damage, and come out and see where I am once the pit stop strategy cycle commits. Can I get it from there? If I was at, what was it, about 5 minutes ago, he had the damage, or 10 minutes ago. So then I would look at it and say, right, okay, can I then go into the pits, get done, wait for the pit stop cycles to happen, give me a rough idea where I'm going to be, maybe pit with the leaders, and then you're kind of back on the same kind of sync thing again, and then you can work your way back through. But Coleman clearly was in the car. He knows more about what's going on with his race than I do. Didn't want to take that decision, which I do find a little bit strange. I've got to be honest. If your car's damaged and you've got an hour and 40 minutes to go, Pete, I probably would have gone in and got it repaired.
Mate, Alan Coleman has just towed to the pits. And I don't know about you. I didn't hear a request to tow.
I don't
Have
anyway.
You heard a request to tow?
I don't anyway.
You don't anyway.
No, because it goes out.
I'm going to go back and see if I can pick up a request to tow for Owen because that's big news, because there's a flow-on effect penalty if you tow without requesting, which is a rear grid start for the next round. So for someone like
Owen,
Owen,
it again.
That's a big error.
Why is he just...
So,
I don't get this. Maybe he's seeing the red mist at the moment, Pete.
It's really out of character. If he hasn't come in...
Maybe he's just seeing the red mist. I don't know. But I obviously don't hear radio messages because otherwise they go out and everybody else hears them.
No, that's fine. No.
Try and keep that away from public ears. So at the moment, no. Chapman sure still out in front. We're coming into back marker territory currently for Shaw. I believe that maybe Adrian, I promise I won't run out of fuel, Gretsch in Ford Mustang. There you go, gets out of the way. Fair play to Adrian. That's a good way of doing it and allowing these guys through. Scotty Rankin still out there. He's still got Magri tucked in behind him in the Audi. Rankin at the moment keeping the car on the circuit. Any updates on that request to tow, Pete?
Yeah, look, I think Owen's had a couple of times to try and reach race control, and there was some delay in some messaging. So, as far as I'm concerned, he's reached out, and yeah, it looks like he's done everything he can to request to tow. So,
so nothing incoming, we don't think.
Fine, no, but no, yeah, put him out.
Oh,
yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the race, mate. I think looks like Owen's had a shocker, so let's not focus on Owen, poor fella.
Ricky! Nope, didn't hold it. Bounced the curve in that Porsche. He got a little bit close to the car in front. The interesting thing as well, the car in front has literally got no front end on it. That's the number 56. That's Chris Ruddle, who also got a penalty earlier on. And unfortunately, Roddle there looking like he got a little bit slowed up, and then unfortunately for Provenzali, kind of hit there as well. I think there was a call. RC missed it. Yeah, I think that's what we just said, Adam. There, I think he tried to reach out as much as possible before he did on that one. So it looks like Coleman is possibly going to be out of the race. This is the Donaldson-Brook situation. Again, Donaldson going through. We did say the right call for Fuzz just to let Donaldson through. He's not managed to stay with him to take a, how can I put it, to take advantage, should we say, of what's gone on in front with Donaldson going past Brook. So for Fuzz, he's kind of got to get a little bit of a... Scotty Rankin and Jamie Saxon. Looks like they may have had... Oh, they have. Oh dear.
going on here? Is this Porsche doing Porsche things or something's happened?
No, that's Scotty doing.
Oh,
Scotty
he's
doing.
missed his braking marker altogether.
And he went off track, Pete.
Oh, he did well to not take out any other cars.
Well, we did, but how freaking close was he? That's what I'm going to look at, because he was he was well on his way to doing it there as well. Look.
Brake, Scotty, brake.
Oh. So does that incident for Scotty Rankin count in the little bet we've just had going, Pete?
Not a chance. That's just the missed braking marker, mate.
You
No.
said he could keep it on the circuit.
Not a chance. Porsche doing Porsche things is the rear end swinging out and turning around just under normal or on the limit driving. That's a driving error, that one. That's not the Porsche doing.
Changing.
Come on, help me out, listeners. Help me out. That is not a Porsche doing Porsche thing.
Changing the parameters.
That's a standard driving error by the man Scotty Rankin, the mad commentator. He'll be fuming too. He won't be happy with it. But look, good news is he didn't take anybody out.
Yeah. He did miss everyone on his plummet down into that corner at a rapid rate of knots for Mr. Rankin on that one. So I'll let Pete off that time and we'll see what happens. But me personally, he did go off track. So,
When a Porsche does Porsche things, if Scotty Rankin's Porsche does Porsche things, mate, I will cop it. I'll say, yep, no, you've got me. But no, he's allowed to do a driving error, but that's not the Porsche doing Porsche things.
Okay, I'll let you off on that one, Pete. Only because I've got to try and let you at least win one bet this season. There as well.
The leaks we go to let Pete Baxter win a bet.
Yeah, we changed the rules of the bet before we even started the bet. So there we go. Ray Campbell fighting out with Sam Chapman. We are coming into about 22 minutes on the top of the hour, Pete. We said about 48 to 52 minutes, give or take, on the fuel tank. Are we looking possibly people taking early stops or not?
Well, we're in that window where you can take an early stop now because, as we've seen none of the cars go off. We've seen cars hit the barriers. Mm-hmm. We've seen a tow, and there hasn't been a safety car call yet. So one of the things about this circuit is nice big wide open spaces. And the race controllers might just look and say, yep, no, you're well and truly safe, race will carry on. So that means a lot of green flag racing. And unlikely, we've got really, really big field spread now. And like I said, there's only about a 15-minute window overall where you can undercut or overcut now because of the size of the fuel tank. So if they are green flag all the way up to the 52-minute mark, everybody has to have done a pit stop. We're in that little bit of a window now where if you're getting held up, but you've also got to understand where you're going to come out, because if you're in the top 5 and you think you're being held up, you don't want to come out behind 22, 23, 24th place who are on the track together and get stuck by a bunch of Challenger class guys. But you've got a faster car because you'll lose the undercut. So, if people are in there driving on own, you don't necessarily get to make that math and say, "Oh, I'll come out between these cars." You need somebody else doing the engineering and have done the pit stop times and all that sort of research to be able to make those calls. But yeah, we're in that window, undercut, overcut, and if you're lucky and you get a nice bit of clear track, those sorts of calls can work. But I think what we're seeing tonight, mate, is I think we're seeing these guys are going to run them dry. Mm-hmm. Potentially some guys are fuel saving a little bit if they are. So, particularly these two in P2 and P3, Rain and Sam, I think they get an opportunity just to make sure that Stewie Shaw stays on throttle, full throttle the whole time, and they can use the draft down the straights to save a bit of fuel and essentially get that time back in the pit stops. So that's the sort of thing that I'd be thinking about if I was in the car, and try and get it either through the pit stop cycle or in that second pit stop cycle. But to do that, you still have to stay really close to Stewie Shaw. And as we know, Stewie Shaw's been really good on the throttle anyway. So.
Right, so we've got a couple of messages in chat. Shez telling me off. Don't outthink the Porsche, Mr. Mad Englishman. Thank you very much. Owen Coleman's in there as well. Any more left, and I'd have a slowdown. But anyways, he says in YouTube. Dean Mackay, this is an interesting one, Pete. 30 lap stints.
Yeah, that's about right. Yep, 30 laps, put it on to about 52 minutes. So we're about a minute 40. So So my calcs were based on the Porsche, and I drive a little bit slower. I'm probably in the P20 to P30 mark of the Challenger class. So maybe burn a little bit less fuel than some of these other guys. But 48 to 52 minutes, we're going to start seeing pit stops.
Oh, Martin Harlan, what have you done here, son? Oh, you're going to get... Oh, little bit messy, but that was a diving out by Ben Brook. He got the job done, but it was a little bit messy on that one.
Yeah, a little bit messy. Car on the outside didn't cooperate. Cars come together. iRacing does iRacing things.
This is Eli Donaldson and Stefan Mellis. They've had a comment together here. I'm wondering if this is Mellis. Oh, no. Oh, yes.
Oh,
Mellis that's an interesting one. Mellis ran wide. Donaldson came round the corner, missed Mellis, and then whether or not he did it under braking on himself.
That's a classic under braking on that entry corner, and that's an Audi doing Porsche things, mate. There you go. That's the exact same thing that we're talking about. But as I mentioned earlier, that's the most likely corner that you're going to do that, because if you come through this chicane a little bit too hot, miss your braking marker, it's such a tight turn under brakes, and you've got to trail brake all that way to get to the curb where you're actually doing the hairpin turn. Really, really difficult turn to make. So Rains probably just pushed it. He maybe saw so Mellis just open up the track and got a little bit excited, and but it cost himself a little bit of a spin. Yeah. Not too much damage. Away they go.
Yeah, there was a penalty come up there as well. 5-second penalty for Ben Brook on lap 24, causing an incident. I'm wondering if that was that scrappy overtake that we saw when...
I'll see if I can find that for you, mate.
I think it's here, mate. Do you remember when we said that he went in quite deep, didn't he, Brook? And then took advantage here, and then it got a little bit messy.
Yeah.
That's on lap 24, so I'm wondering if that was the situation that they've come back with on there. So people starting to come and deal with pit stops. There's been a few already. Donaldson has pitted here. Trent Allen, obviously, we've seen. Glenn Arnott's pitted. Provenzali's been in. Dawson's been in. Ruddle's been in. So there's been a few pit stops taking shape early. As you can see on the left-hand side, everything coming out towards about a second at the moment. James Mason has just gone into pit lane as well. Trent Allen is on the move back through the field. He's currently got Sean Bonici's McLaren in front of him as he's coming back through after his earlier incident, and we saw him bounce over the curb as well. So a few people taking the early stops. I still think people are going to run them dry. I'm on with you, Pete. I think they're going to run them completely out and see where they stand after this stint.
Yeah, I'm going to call most of those early stops will be fast repair stops, really from the incidents. I think they're maybe the ones on lap 22. So Ricky Provenzali, Glenn Arnott, they might get away with it, But yeah, they're all down in the field. So I suspect they've all had little comings together with different cars, and they've gone in. They've had enough damage that it's costing them too much lap time, so they have to come in anyway.
Chapman and
racing, great racing.
Chapman and Campbell. Campbell's just made it past on Chapman. Campbell in that Audi got the job done. Yep, on the run down here.
Yep. No, and Rain's been fast and aggressive all night, but that's great work by Sam Chamberlain. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And anybody watching this, so he knows Rain's inside him. He's already dropped in back, and he's given him plenty of room through there. But basically, just lift off here, come in, slide in through the chicane, and now race on. Now, if Rain, if you're faster, good luck to you, and away you go. But if I'm Sam Chapman, I'm going to say, all right, mate, now it's my turn. I'll see if I can get you back.
Agreed.
But they both race on, mate. They both race on in P2 and 3. That's my big point.
Yep. I fully understand, Pete. I think that's the thing. You've got to be mindful. Lose a place, race on, get points. Lose a place, fight the place. Could end up getting nothing out of it. It's no point. Eli Donaldson's just gone into pit lane once again. It's Trent Allen still trying to make his way through the field. And that is a Lamborghini of Mr. Dean Reddit out on track. The only Lamborghini we got in the field at the moment there, Pete. Dean Reddit back in a Lambo.
Yeah, no, that's good to see the Lambo on the field. We didn't see many of them, and we talked a little bit about somebody having a man. Who was that? That was Jake. But I think we're now Sting, and we've got 4 in. So Eli Donaldson, we've got Jimmy Middleton, Rue Koistra, and Nick Bottrell have all come in for the pits. I think these are the first of the genuine green flag runner pit stops. And we're into it now. So Stewie Shaw and Rain Campbell's just come in the pits as well. So there we are. Go, mate. Dry tanks. They got to the end of it. And where are we? 47 minutes.
Yeah, Alan has just cleared Mr. Reddit. Alan pitted on lap 14. So he will be able to go up until about 44, and then he'll have his final stop there. But you say Chapman is now the leader of the race. Scotty Rankin is second. Oh, I thought there was going to be contact with that McLaren on the outside as he was drifting out there. That got a little bit hairy. Matt Carrick has not come in either. Stewie Shaw, Rain Campbell, Tommy Wallace, Dutch, Daniel Magri and Vinnie Newen all in pit lane. What's going to happen down in the Challengers? Is Mark Foss going to go in? He's not. Martin Halloran hasn't got in either. And what about Jesse McMinimum? Also no. So the 3 challengers have not gone into pit lane, the lead challengers now either. So very different stops here, Pete, probably by a lap or so.
Yeah, also, and I think this is the difference I talked about, my own speed and my fuel burn. And I know Dean Mackay's put up, he had 30 laps and he's 49 minutes. So we're 3 minutes apart, right? So there's a lap and a half difference. And that's just pure difference between, Dean's ability to get on the throttle nice and early, probably earlier than I can. So he's using a little bit more fuel the whole lap. And the most of the Challenger class, which is where I would expect that I'd be racing, these guys can go that extra lap, maybe even the extra second lap if they've been able to save some fuel. So minor little bit of an advantage, but overall the Challengers are they're a little bit slower than the guys in elite class, which is why we've classed them that way and which is why they get a good race. But that's what I think we're seeing right now in terms of these pit stops.
Right. What else is odd is Rain Campbell has taken the lead of the race. And he's taken the lead of the race due to a pit stop of 26.9 seconds for Rain Campbell. Stewie Shaw, who was leading the race, is now in second, really net place, but he's got a pit stop of 34 seconds. So whatever Rain has pulled out, Rain has literally taken nearly 8 seconds out of Stewie Shaw's pit stop as Rankin's in, Carrick's in, Foz is in, Hallinnan's in. So Stewie Shaw should be second overall on the road. He is. It's just Chapman left to go into pit lane. But Rain Campbell, 8 seconds quicker than Stewie Shaw.
Nah, that's a fuel drop deficit, mate. So I think what you'll find is, and unless Stewie Shaw made a mistake on entry to pits or something, I'd suspect that Stewie's probably filled his tank right up, so he's going to run long. Rain Campbell has short field by 8 seconds, so he's got a lighter car. And what he's got to do now is Rain Campbell has got to now extend that gap between him and Stewie Shaw to make sure that when he pays back that 8 second fuel deficit in the second stop, that Stewie Shaw doesn't jump him again. Really smart thinking by Rain Campbell in this way. Keep the car light, keep the car fast, get the track position now. And it all depends, like I said earlier, it all depends where they come out in traffic. So, if Rain Campbell's come out behind a couple of back markers that are going to go a bit slow for a while, that could slow him down and that could eat into the 8 second margin that he's just bought himself.
Yeah, looking like for Rain Campbell, he has just cleared some back markers. Obviously, Shaw's going to have to do exactly the same thing as Campbell has done. And the gap now, we'll give it a minute to settle down. Shaw's just in the background there. For Rain, he really needed to get kind of on his bike a little bit. We're just going to give it a minute to settle down. Chapman is in pit road. Campbell there, Shaw in the BMW in the blue, white and red. Over the line he goes. What are we going to have? If we got an 8 second stop quicker, which leads to 6 seconds pit lane time, and Shaw 2.9, touching 3 seconds behind at the moment, Pete. That's quite a big drop.
So that to me keeps Stewie Shaw in front after the second round of pit stops. And this is where Stewie will really earn his dollars, right? So if Stewie can stay within 2 or 3 seconds of Ryan Campbell, he knows that the fuel drop difference that he's got in the second stop, he's got an advantage there that'll put him back out. So I don't think Stewie will be too worried. I think, as soon as he sees, or if he's got someone reading out the pit stop times and the difference in fuel drop there, he'll quickly, as a racer's brain, he'll quickly work out what Rain's done. Like I said, I think it's a really good move from Rain. Light car's a fast car, but he's still got to earn the complete overtake by getting that 3-second gap out to and beyond 8 seconds to make sure that this overtake now actually is cemented for the win at the end.
Yeah, Middleton allowing through. Shaw still not through on the back marker in front at the moment. That is Mr. Ruddle. And Ruddle's not slowing up and looking like he's going to allow him through going into the final complex of Magny-Cours. Now he's going to get him into the chicane. That's going to affect him as well because of the run out the other side. Ruddle's still not playing ball. He's still not letting him through. Again, still carrying on, Pete. I'm not sure how Stewie Shaw's going to be feeling about this, to be honest with you.
I don't think Stewie Shaw's been held up just yet. It's not close enough really to be held up, and he should be able to jump in front of this car now. Dean McKeown's also thrown out the theory that Rain's done a half tank fill. I'm going to suggest, I think he's probably at least put in
still
enough
not letting him.
Guys. Oh, right, blue flags.
Dude,
I'll be calling racing.
yeah.
Because this is the race, isn't it? You're going to get traffic let you through, and as soon as Stewie clears him, Jimmy Middleton's going to let him through because Jimmy's good at looking in the mirrors, mate. He's used to getting lapped. But
4 seconds. It's going to be.
Who was that?
That looked like Martin Lipsky. He's still flashing. And he's still not letting him. This is making up Rain Campbell's day.
Yeah, it is.
That's Chris Ruddle. Yeah. Now he lets him. That took him half a lap or more.
Way too much. Way too much.
Yeah, there's going to be 2 stops, we reckon, in the race. They've just had their first one. They'll go till about 20 minutes to go, and then they should dive in for the next one. That's put the gap out to Rain Campbell from 2.6 it was to 4.6 seconds. That's 2 seconds gone for Stu Shaw in 1 lap, and that, as a back marker, is what you can cause here. Jimmy's going to get through this corner here, allow him through going down into Adelaide, so he's not going to hold him up. In fact, Jimmy's going to do it himself and run wide and allow him through anyway. So that is the problem. Nearly 5 seconds now from 2.6. He's lost 2.4 seconds, all because a back marker took half a track to get out of the way.
No, absolutely. But he's got to pay it back because Rain's going to come up against 3 cars next, and Stewie Shaw's got a nice little bit of open air gap to be able to close that in. So, passing 1 back marker is pretty easy. Passing 3 back markers in a fighting position, that's not going to be easy on itself. So, so that's going to ebb and flow. We've got to keep an eye on that because, like I said, we've got to keep that gap has got to be around 8 seconds for Rain to be in front. Other than that, I think Stewie Shaw's got the advantage. Now, I'm going to throw another theory at you, and I think what Rain's done is short filled but changed the tyres. So we're going to see him in around about with 30 minutes to go, or maybe even 40 minutes to go, probably 30 minutes to go. But I think he's probably saved enough in his fuel stop to get a fresh second set of fresh tyres, whereas anybody else is only coming in for potentially what is about 16 minutes worth of fuel, may not have the fuel drop to cover a new set of tyres. So some guys might be on their same tyres for the end of the race. So that's one thing that I think Rain could be thinking. Let's split the fuel drop so I get 2 sets of tyres through the race. We'll go from that. Like I said, I think it's a great move doing what he's done. It's really mixed up the race rather than just following leader to front, and it's put a good strategy in place for us to keep an eye on.
Well, this is Trent Allen has made his way back up into 6th place, pitted on lap 14. He's going to have to go in, give or take, within about 9 to 10 laps. Dutch is in. Scott Rankin's back in pit lane, by the looks of it here as well for Scotty. Quite sure.
Yeah,
that's
Scotty's first pit.
No, he has not taken that 55 minutes. This is his second stop. That is stop number 2 for Scotty Rankin. Yep, it definitely is. Pit number 2 for Mr. Rankin and a pit number 2 for Andrew Dutch. So not quite sure what they're up to. Are they're going to try and get to the end with 55 minutes still to go? Can they get to the end with 55 minutes to go?
It's got some really odd data. So Andrew Dutch and Scott Rankin are both showing 8 and 7 second pit stops for this pit stop. So maybe something didn't work properly in their first pit stops for both of those guys, which they've had to then come in. But they're short. That's short duration, 7 and 8 seconds. Why they've done that?
I don't know. Surely, if you were going to come in, you'd fill it back up. When you fill it back up?
You would. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because obviously you're short, aren't you? If you're going to go in, you might as well use it to fill it back up with fuel. Rain's in as well.
All right, these guys are blowing my mind. What are they doing, mate? We're still an hour and 3 minutes from the end of the race. These guys can't get to the end. I don't understand what they're doing. I do agree. Dean Mackay's just put up a comment saying, downside with rain strategy, last stop will be early in every event, high chance of getting caught up in traffic. I completely 100% I agree with you. I think that's that risk of an early pit stop we talked about earlier, is that somebody like Rain can end up getting mixed up. Oh, there's a request to tow out there. We might be a safety car.
Yeah, there is.
There we go.
So that would explain where it was from. Was that James Mason?
Right, so what we've seen, now that makes a whole lot of sense. What we've seen now is we've seen Andrew Dutch, Scotty Rankin and even Rain Campbell second guess a request for tow call, or they've seen a car and they've gone, that's going to be a safety car. And they've come in and made that call themselves before the safety cars get called, so they don't have to get into the pits while they've got a whole lot of other cars. That's an advantage. If you can pull that off, and you can't always, sometimes you get it wrong, but big crash.
Big snap in that BMW, and I think that's where the damage lied.
Yeah, and that has to be a safety car. He's right on the edge of the track there. So that's what we've seen. Now that makes a lot of sense, mate. Now is why those cars have come into the pits, because they've seen that car there. They've called out safety car. In their head they've said no, there's going to be a safety car here, and
you ain't getting that back,
yeah,
mate.
they're right. Yeah, he's going nowhere.
Yeah, you ain't getting that back, unfortunately. There, so that was where it is. So we have got the safety car out with the Print Racer safety car. Go and check them out, printracer.net, and much love to them for sponsoring the safety car this season. You can see it there, driven by our very own Scotty Barron in the car at this moment in time in that safety car. So there he is, driving well.
There it is, and we're still not at that stage. Even with this safety car, I don't think anybody can get to the end. We're still, we're talking. We've always said 52 minutes. Maybe we'd extend that by probably a lap under a lap of safety car here. I don't think we're going to extend it 4 laps that I think we'd need. So it's going to be close. I know Scotty Rankin's a bit of a demon when it comes to fuel saving. He's very, very good at it, much like Owen Coleman. But he did come in a little bit earlier than most others. A lot of them have chosen not to. They've just chosen to race on. Stewie Shaw's back out the front there, chosen to race on, and that changes it. He loses a little bit here, but because the guys will catch back up to him. But he's now with a whole track of clean air, with all the train behind him. He can now put his head down and drive on.
Yeah, he will. It's going to lay out a very, very interesting next hour. see how and where and what and why goes on with fuel, because it is going to be a bit of a head scratcher for me and you, Mr. Baxter, on that one. I think trying to work out when everybody's coming in and who's going to do what and who's going to do when. Because Rain Campbell come in for his second stop as well. We had Andrew Dutch come in, Scotty Rankin come in for his second one. Leif McClymer has also been in for his second stop as well. Foz Donaldson also on 2 stops there. And so there's a couple of the runners up the front also in the same boat.
And actually, the name I'm looking for is Dan Magry. What did Dan Magry do? Because he's the guy who's always pulled off a Swifty under a safety car, and it looks like Dan didn't come in. He stayed out. So that's interesting, yeah, because Dan's pulled some surprises on us under these sort of mid-race safety cars before, mate, and made some massive gains from it. So seeing that he stayed out, yeah, interesting. Maybe the right call to stay out here.
Yeah, maybe. We're not really sure how this is going to work. Is it going to be the right call to go in? Is it the right call to stay out? All of these back markers are coming through. You can see on the left-hand side at the moment, all are going past, getting the wave around on the cars. I believe that was Nigel Siddell has just gone round, and I think James Mason, who obviously caused a safety car to a degree, has also gone back through. So we'll see what goes on here and see how they get on, but I think this is going to be an interesting one. Don't forget, guys, as well, coming up, we've obviously got Watkins Glen, Mr. Baxter. That's going to be a different kettle of fish to this one.
Oh, absolutely. Watkins Glen is a classic track. I mean, everybody loves the race. I love a race at Watkins Glen, and we're going to see it for the finale too. So, yeah, really good fast race, great overtaking opportunities. It's an undercut track as far as I'm concerned. If you get it right and you get a nice little open space, you can make a whole lot of big gains. But yeah, something that's coming up in the Gaming Gear Direct Premier Endurance League final round.
No, it is, and it will be here as well. In literally on round 7 on December the 15th, it will wrap up the Christmas racing here from Premier Endurance for Watkins Glen on December the 15th. So keep an eye out for that one. It's going to be very, very exciting, I'm sure. Pace car going to be going round one more time by the looks of it. Is the lights going to be off? No. Is it going to be off? No.
No.
We're still going
again. This is advantage those who are pitted. The longer this goes under safety car, I'll just call this will be the final lap on the safety car, but this extra lap might be that advantage that those attempting to get to the end need. JP.
Yeah, Roy. Rue is in 20th share, as Dean Mackay has blatantly filled you in with on that one. So there he is on your screen, sitting down in 20th place at this moment in time. Good thing he's up 15 spots, mind you. One of the highest climbers behind Sean Benici, who's up 16 spots. And then we've got Matt Webber up 11, Hanlon up 10, Carrick up 10 as well. So some quite big gainers here, Pete. Little bit sort of probably higher than what we would have expected.
Yes and no. I mean, there's a couple of guys that did qualify out of position, so I always expect those sorts of drivers to get up. But I think Rue Questri's, he's having a wonderful drive. He didn't do the pit under the safety car, so he's done his natural pit and come back out. So that might give him a couple of false positions. But up 15, I'd say that not doing on the pits is probably giving him about 5. He's probably up 10 in real track space, but he's having a wonderful drive tonight, and it's really good to have Cher back. I think we've missed Cher the last couple of rounds. Yeah,
welcome back in, Cher, as well. So fair play. 30th. Yeah, it only goes up to 30. I can't get any more on there, Cher, unfortunately. If I try to squeeze any more on, we won't be able to see anything else. So yeah, it only goes on to 30, unfortunately. So there we go. If Rain can save fuel, I reckon he has got at least a podium. There's Dean in chat as well. I'm sure he probably is there. The safety car is looking like he's pulling away. So we are going to be green this time around. And let's pick up on Stewie's shot. And the safety car looks like he's pulling away this time, Pete.
It is, and Rain hasn't proven himself to be a fuel saver. He's proven himself to be quite an aggressive driver, trying to get at the front. So I think he's going to have to fight. Stewie Shaw's got his work cut out for sure. These guys at the front have got to pull away and make a gap because they've now got the fuel deficit. I think I think Rain and as well as Dutchy, Scotty Rankin, and Leith. They could be at advantage with that extra safety car lap because we're right at 54 minutes to go now. That is sort of challenger class fuel burn to get to the end with a full team.
Here we go. Let's get this up and running. Stewie Shaw takes the whole shot again, did exactly the same what he did last time. He waited for everybody to go through the chicane, then he absolutely bolted once more, did Stewie Shaw, and he's done exactly the same thing again. Away he has gone out the front end. Chapman tucked in behind him with Wallace and Magri in behind that. Campbell still within touching distance, so is Trent Allen at this moment in time. Scotty Rankin's in there, Dutch is in there, Newlan's in there, Carrick's in there, Glenn Arnott rounding out a top 11, all elite field there. Chapman did again, Stewie Shaw did again what he did last time, Pete. He got out in front and didn't escape.
No, and that's what Stewie Shaw. He has to make the most use of the clean air that he's got. Try and just get enough of a gap, get away and drive his race because it's his to lose now. The pit stop's going to put an extra challenge on him. He has to make a big gap now with Rain. I do expect they've all got to come in, maybe for a little bit of a splash for 1 or 2 laps for some of them. But I know Stewie Shaw really has to just race away from Rain, I think, in this race tonight. Notwithstanding the other guys in there. Dan Magry's sitting in there currently in a podium position. I think he sort of qualified a little bit down tonight. So, to have Dan up there and we've got the likes, we know that Scotty Rankin is a fuel saver. Owen Coleman's a fuel saver, but he's not in there. These guys that know how to drive quick and safe fuel, they're the ones that I think we've got to keep a surprise eye on. I'm not sure about Rain if he is a fuel saver or not, but if anybody else knows him better than I do, certainly shout out if he knows how to drive that way.
He's saving fuel.
He's full on. Yeah, he looks to be saving fuel.
Yeah, he had literally nothing. He's got nothing again.
Yeah.
So he is saving. We'll stay on board going down into Adelaide to see how Rain Campbell, what he does here as well. Look at the dials on the left-hand side. Didn't look like it that time, no, Pete.
Maybe shifting just a little bit early. What we can't pick up on what we're seeing though is whether he's just lifting off and coasting a bit before he hits the brakes, and that's the easiest way to save fuel is just a little bit of lift and coast and then hits the brakes, and maybe that's why he's dropped off a little bit. So it looks like Rain has changed his driving attitude from what I'm seeing now, but he can't let the gap get too far if he's going like. Although it has quite a long time to get through the pits as well as do a pit stop. But, maybe he can let that gap go. I wonder how big he can let that gap go. Probably about 30-odd seconds, I reckon.
Do we think that people are going to be able to get to the end? Do we think the likes of Rankin, who pitted, Dutch pitted, Campbell, are they going to get to the end? Because we said 30 laps at 48 minutes, 49 minutes to 52. With 51 in, they've been running a couple of laps under full green, Pete. Surely it isn't possible, is it?
Oh, we've seen magicians on the throttle before in this league. That's one of the things I really like about this league. I mean, I've seen some absolute exceptional fuel savers. Guys that have surprised the hell out of me in terms of what they've been able to do. And like I said, Scotty Rankin has done that to me time and time again. So can they make it? I think it's a step too far because they went in with an hour and 2 minutes to go. And that's generally 100% fuel tank in a GT3 at full throttle. Now, we had 3 laps of safety car. So let's say 3 laps of safety car using 1 lap of race fuel. And then we got started with 54 minutes to go. So I'd say they're all at least 1 or 2 laps short here. That's the guys that pitted under safety car. The guys that didn't pit under safety car, well, they've still got the extra, I think it's about 4 laps difference anyway. So it's not a lot of fuels. But what it did do is change the delta that we had with that 8-second delta with Rain Campbell out the front. It sort of mixed up that strategy again and thrown that all up in the air. That was a good thing to talk about for about 5 minutes, mate. Now we've thrown that in the bin.
Right, well, we're going to throw it all in the bin. All in the bin has gone out the window. Adam Burhop, YouTube chat. No, can't be done without another safety car. Done the math. So there we go.
Yeah, pretty confident my hair brown calculator that's working without a pen at the moment is saying the same thing. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think we're at least 2 laps short under green. For most of the guys that are fast, even those that stop. So thanks for doing the math, Adam. I've just been doing it through my own sort of racing brain. I don't reckon it's there. Yeah.
No, I don't reckon it's there either. I think they are going to have to stop. Again, Magny is putting it all on the line here. That's Tommy Wallace that he's battling out with. And at the moment, Magny on the left-hand side, Wallace on the right, coming down into Adelaide now. Magny's going to hold on to it. Great job from him. And Wallace there still tucked in right behind him. There's action further down as well. Matt Carrig was having a nice little bit of a battle at one point, but it seems to have settled down just a touch on that one. Martin Hallinan still leading the Challenger score, the Challenger lead at this moment in time. So great job from Martin Hallinan at this moment in time. Now, if the race finished exactly where it does right about now, that would be the gap in the Challengers. It's 7-2-1 to Jamie Saxton. In the lead of the Challenger with Isaac Curtis in behind him on 6-1-3 if it finishes right now. In the Elites, same scenario, Dean Mackay 17.92, and then we've got Stewie Shaw in behind him 16.58. That would be the situation if it finished right now. Of course, we've got the end of the race to go on that one. Stay tuned for the next 48 minutes because it's going to be a bit fast, frantic, and people trying lots of different things here. But there's action all the way through, Pete. There's been action all the way through, to be fair, at Magny-Cours. Hasn't disappointed. Still not my favourite track.
No, that's all right. You don't have to have a favourite track everywhere. I mean, what I like, other people don't like, and what they like, I don't necessarily like driving on. So, and like I said, tracks are tracks, right? They suit different people, and they suit different drivers, and Interlagos is one. I love Interlagos. I think it's one of the most fabulous playing track altogether. But I know people, particularly supercar drivers, they hate it. They can't stand it. I'm like, oh no, what do you know? What do you not like about this track, right? So that's quite a fun argument, mate. Yeah, I'm happy for you to say you don't like the track. You have your reasons for that. That is absolutely fine. I love it. I think it's a fabulous track for racing, and we should do more of it.
I agree on Interlagos. Let us know in YouTube chat if you have a favourite track there as well. Mine is Interlagos all day. If somebody said you've got one ticket to go to a Grand Prix, I would go there, to be blatantly honest, and that's where I would travel to because I think it's an absolutely amazing circuit and I do love Interlagos. Let us know in YouTube chat what your favourite circuit is to drive on. Obviously, I do comms, but I have driven Interlagos as well. Don't forget on that one. So let us know in YouTube chat. It'd be great to hear some of your ideas. What do you think of Magny-Cours as well? Is it a circuit that you love to drive, or is it a circuit that you sit back and think meh when you see it on a calendar? We've got Eli Donaldson currently in the moment just about to try and go up the inside of Matt Webber. They're fighting it out for 13th and 14th. Donaldson still trying to come back through the field at the moment. He's still up 11 places though, Pete. Not a bad day for Eli really in conjunction.
Yeah, he's probably up. He'd be upset with his qualifying attempt, I think, Eli, because he qualified down in the sort of mid-20 pack, for someone like Eli, we're tuned to see him competing and fighting in the top 10. So I think he might be disappointed with his qualifying when he gets to the end of the night, but so far he's been able to make his way back up through the racing, and I note that he also did one of those safety car pit stops. He pitted on lap 33, which is when the safety car came out. So he's dropped down a couple of spots from there. So maybe if he can make it to the end or that shorter stop, he's going to jump a couple anyway.
Yeah, Eli Donaldson looking at coming through the field on that one. So he's currently got Matt Webber in behind him, in front of him, sorry, I should say, and is still trying to make his way through. Jesse McMinimum has got Sean Benici. No further action for car 18, Eli Donaldson on lap 42 for causing an incident. So no further action for Eli there. Sean Benici's got Mark Foster, Richard Mayer, Rui Koistra, Jamie Saxon and Alan Dawson in behind him. Adam Burb says Montreal, Canada. I can see that. I can see that. Donaldson's just cleared Webber, and unfortunately, that's just happened after.
Oh, it is, and that's put Eli back. Where is he? Oh, he's doing absolute. Look, call out for the fairness of fair driving, mate. Just sitting there and wait for the gap. You know, kudos. It's a shame he got turned around, and it's cost what was looking to be a good night, but. You know, the driving and the patience there to wait and get back on track, exceptional and a standout. So credit to Eli for doing that.
Not sure where I'd put that one. On there, looks like half a dozen of one and six of the other, isn't it? On that one, Alan is now sitting in. Alan there with the number 6 alongside him. Then the number 92 car of Rain Campbell. So Trent Allen and Rain Campbell having a right little ding-dong on the way now down into 180. Through Nürburgring they're going to go. They do only go single file there, Pete. Well done, boys. That's the difference between reading what's going on around you and trying to put it in too wide.
Either that or they listened to us 30 minutes ago. Oh, we better not do this again.
Maybe.
I doubt it. I don't know if I could drive and listen to me talk.
No, I don't drive and listen to a broadcast either, even on a Tuesday night. I've got to be honest, because it literally drives me crazy. But there we go. Rankin's still out on the circuit. He's got Leif McClimber up behind him in the Mercedes at the moment. So Leif putting him under a little bit of pressure. Scotty Rankin down 5, sitting in 9th place currently at this moment in time. But again, we do wonder whether or not there is a little bit of fuel saving, as I'm going to have a quick listen in to his engine and see what he's doing, because he is one of them ones that pitted a little bit earlier. Well, he's definitely not, but one of the things I do want to make you aware of, listen to the 6th gear whistle. There it is, that high-pitched whistle of that Porsche in 6th gear. Just gives it something different, Pete, doesn't it?
I love driving the Porsche. One of the things I like about the Porsche is the engine note, because it's so different to all of the other GT3 cars. It's just, when it first got released on iRacing, and I thought, I never used to like the Cup cars because, yeah, Porsches do Porsche things, right? And I felt the Cup cars, I was terrible. I was always late in the braking, and I could never get a Porsche to drive properly. And then this car came out, the GT3, and I thought, actually, it's much more better balanced with a massive big rear wing on it. And I drove it, and I thought, this is like driving a go-kart. This is so cool, you know, compared to the other GT3 cars I was driving. Yeah, so I love driving. It's my go-to GT3. If I want to go and just have a spin around somewhere, it's probably not my best race car because it does do Porsche things on me as well. But it's my go-to, go and have a spin and have a bit of fun car.
Yeah, I've just I've been loving the Corvette, but I just picked up the McLaren to have a go in that. I haven't managed to get it out on circuit at this moment in time, mind you, partly due to the fact that I've just been absolutely manic, and well, apart from last week where man flu and was sick as a dog, so I'm going to try and get that round the circuit here as well. Vinny Nguyen in front of Mr. Rankin currently on that run down from Estoril down through Gulf, going down into Adelaide. Rankin, I don't think he's going to make a dive from there. He's going to be way too far back. Trent Allen's in the pits. Mason's in the pits. Bottrell's in the pits. Inside that 40-minute mark. What do we think for everybody else? Because we know, you know, Adam's kind of confirmed in YouTube chat, Pete, they're not going to get to the end, and it's going to be, you know, splash and dashes all round. What do we think? Are we expecting splash and dashes with 20 minutes to go? Are we expecting splash and dashes with 10 minutes to go? How far are they going to be able to actually go?
Oh, I think it depends on where you are in the race, right? So if you feel like you're getting held up and you know most of the cars are all together on the track right now, it's a good time to come and do a pit stop and get out and get clear air. Clear air is gold, right? And if you can do that and you do your last pit stop and you know you're going to race to the end, you're going to get a clear air, and that's undercut territory. That is undercut territory every day of the week. But if you're these guys that are up the front and you know you might only have a 1 or 2 lap splash and dash, what you're trying to do is you're trying to keep that car out in front as far as you can. Don't fall back and do that splash and dash early, because you're driving to a number right now. Even if you know you're on a splash and dash, you're still driving to a number. You're driving to minimise the pit stop at the end and make that as short as possible. So, but what you want to do is you want to extend the gap to the cars behind you as long as possible. So a couple of things depending on where you are in the racetrack, I'd make that call if I was if I was sort of crew chiefing for Scotty tonight. I'd be saying no, keep driving, sit in there behind Vinnie Newen. Because that's what he does, and that's how he saves fuel, right? He's not losing too much time. Use it, and then as soon as you're ready, go. If you think he's holding you up, but you can use a car in front of you like that if you're in this sort of part of the strategy. What you don't want to do is, if Vinny's like 0.3 or 0.4 of a second slow, you don't want to drop back too many seconds to lose the advantage that you got by having a short pit stop. So these are all the things that come into it. That's what I love about motor racing, mate. It's so much more than what my mother-in-law says, cars going around track. There's so much to it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, mate, with my old man. He still thinks the same thing as well, to be blatantly honest. But Sam Chapman is under pressure from Mr. Magri for second and third overall. Hanlon still leading the Challenger class, but Minimum still in 12th place in second. Benici just off the back of Minimum, about a second back in 13th. So still action in the Challengers as there is in the Elites. And Sam Chapman doing a great job with Dan Magri coming up over the line, just starting lap 48, 38 minutes to go. Let us know who you're cheering for, who you think is going to come out on top. If you can, give us a podium of who you think will be your 1, 2, 3 in Challengers, 1, 2, 3 in Elites. Let us know. See if you've got the prediction side of things, as these guys are fighting it out now on the rundown through golf coming into Adelaide. And again, Magri's closing. He's 2.8, 2.7, 2.6, 2.5 on the left-hand side there. You can see it coming down. Is he going to make the move down into Adelaide? Not this time, Pete, but he did gain about 2 tenths under the draft on the rundown there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what you've got to use that draft for. So, and with Stewie Shaw, he's pulling out. So 2.4 from Sam Chapman. So he's got 2, 3, 4, let's say 5. Let's say 6 seconds from Rain Campbell. And that's the one that we've got to look at, because we think Rain's still got to come in for the pits. But Stewie Shaw needs to have, but he's got 3 or 4 more laps of fuel that he has to put in. So Stewie's doing his job. He's driving as fast as he can, as hard as he can. I think Rain's, where is he? In the background. He's in open air, so he can't necessarily save fuel other than using his driving skills to do that. So we'll see whether he's able to pull a change. But I think this is still going to be mixed up in that last pit stop, mate.
Yeah, I think this is the thing. We're kind of sitting in that tender hook stage at the moment. You know what I mean? Because we're sitting there going, we know they've got to make a stop, but we don't know when they've got to make it, because obviously the couple of people that went in before, the couple of people that went in during the second safety, the safety car, who dived in early after seeing Mason make a mistake. Isaac Curtis has just unfortunately gone off the side of the circuit. He's another one having a bit of an awful one. Ruddle and Provenzali are in the pits. They look like they're out currently at this moment in time, but you can see the gap to Rain Campbell to Stewie Shaw, 6.4 seconds on the left-hand side there. And this is the thing for us, isn't it? We're sitting here, we can safely say to everybody at home, we know they've got to make another stop, but we can't safely say when it's going to be, who it's going to come out. But boy, oh boy, does that leave us looking forward to sort of the last 5 laps, Pete, where it's going to be full throttle to the floor.
Oh, and I'm just, wouldn't it be nice? Probably not for the drivers, but Stewie Shaw comes in, Rain Campbell comes in a few laps later, and they come out of that pits and they're side by side going down into Adelaide. That that would make just such a great race. Probably not for those two guys. They want to be well and truly ahead of each other. But, for us watching and for everybody else watching, that'll make an exciting race. Or if somebody else can pull up a surprise and, and jump to the front. Anybody else who's on these fuel-saving strategies, Dutchy, Rankin, Leith McClimate, those guys that did sort of pull off that pit stop. Keep an eye on there. I wrote down those 4 names so we can have a look at how they do come out at the end of the cycle. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on them. Oh, steady Leaf. That is not the way to get past Vinnie Nguyen. You can't punt to pass there, bud. You gotta pass him cleanly. And McClimate is looking a little bit border on the line of frustration at this moment in time. Is he going to be able to get through? He's not. He's got a great run out as well. In fact, I think it's the only Mercedes in the field, with the only Lamborghini is out there. But we've got a couple of all the other manufacturers you see on the left-hand side, Fords, Ferraris, Porsches as well. Leaf taking this Mercedes, and he's the only one out in it. Estimate is within the next 10 minutes. So 24 minutes. I've got Adam Burr up there. He's coming for a job, shouldn't he, Pete? He's like a little pit lane roving reporter we've got going on down there.
Maybe when Scotty stands us up again, we'll get Adam in to do the pit lane reporting for us.
I agree. I think Adam would make a great pit lane reporter. He knows everything about the cars. He driver as well, so he can tell us what's going on with it. I tell you, Adam, you got a job, mate. You got a job. Email your CV in, and I'm sure the job's yours. On that one. So great action still taking place with 34 minutes to go. Oh dear. Chapman and Magri again. Magri's dropped back a little bit at this moment in time. Didn't really get that move done as we saw the closure. We did a few laps back. He closed quite quick on him, Pete. Is Magri now just sitting back thinking, do you know what, I could probably use Chapman here?
Have you ever known Dan Magri to sit back and use a driver? I mean, look, as we talked about earlier, Dan's been the master of strategy through some of these races and pulled off some absolute excellent surprises on us. But I think if he got a look in, I think he'd have a go. But it's really good to see, I think, because normally Dan's probably around about the sort of the 10-ish mark in terms of his driving in this field. Oh, no, commentators, curse! That's on you, JP.
What are you blaming me for? Hold on a minute. I ain't responsible for that one. All I saw was a big old snap from him at the moment. Ren Campbell's going to have a go down with Tommy Wallace. And Campbell's going to take that inside line. You got to go, son. You got to go. On you get onto the brakes. Side by side coming into Adelaide. Campbell does make it through. There's Stefan Mellis in the back who's had an awful race. I cannot tell you how many times it has gone off. I've lost count on one hand how many times he's gone off the track at the moment. So I think he's coming up close to double digits. So poor old Stefan Mellis has had what can only be deemed as a rotten race on that one. Campbell had to get the job done on Wallace there, Pete. He got it done, and through he goes.
Yeah, Wallace was very kind to him though, stayed on the outside, didn't defend the corner, and just slotted in behind him. So Tommy's now probably just going to sit in and use Rain's speed. But yeah, no, he's really kind. He probably knows Rain's probably got a little bit faster than him. Maybe they've got a sneaky little handshake behind the scenes that we don't know about, mate. But yeah, there was no real fight put up by Tommy, and he's let Rain through and to drive on another day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Adam, have you got a notebook together, son? You know where we are, mate. Come and jump in and give us your rundown on that. We'll give you a big old intro for the Adam Burhop pit lane reporting going on there as well. So if you got some notes together and you want to come and hop in and tell us what you think is going to happen, come down, because let's face it, Ted guesses half the time as well. So, and to see, is he ever right? I don't really know. I haven't watched Formula One for a little bit, so I can't really tell you if he's ever right on that one. McClimate still up behind Vinnie Nguyen, still not cleared him. Probably a little bit more frustration kicking in for Leaf at this moment in time. He knows he's got 31 minutes. He knows he needs to get on his bike a little bit. He is part of the two-stop strategy. 10-second penalty for car 69. Nigel Siddell on lap 50 for causing an incident. Where is that incident then that is caused? Rue Coristra has had oh, this is it, because there's Nigel behind him. Did he go? Where you going, son?
Oh,
no. Dude, you are not making that. You
okay.
You dived in deeper than Tom Daly on that one.
Yeah, Yeah, didn't cost Root too much, but yeah, no, that's a dead set penalty. That's too easy. Just driving into the back corner of a car. Yeah, that's the ultimate flaws of Gran Turismo driving, and should be penalised all times. It's a good thing about having race control in iRacing.
Yeah, it does. Nguyen's under pressure still again from McClimate, going through Imola now, coming down in Shattered Castle on the Water is the actual translation. And he tries to go round. Nope, not this time for McClimate. McClimate's pulled the car back, got a good exit in that Mercedes, which I am surprised about, because normally when you pull it in that tight and slam the throttle down, you do end up going round in a lovely little circle. Through now, near enough the final corner, through the double chicane. McClimate's going to bounce that curb. He's going to try and get the run for Leaf at the moment. Is he going to be able to get him down into turn one? He's tucked up right behind him here for over at the moment for McClimate. He still can't get him. He's going to have to wait till Adelaide, Pete.
He's got to set him up for Adelaide. He can't, don't try and overtake where you can't overtake, but use the under and over to get the speed and set him up where you know you can get it. And he's right in behind now. He should get a nice little draft. And but he's defending hard. So he's doing what Tommy didn't do. He's making Leith go on the outside. Leith's going to have to fight. It's really hard to make the overtake on the outside. Maybe get an over and under. Cut in nice and tight and come out quicker. That's the boy. Now we're going to go. Now we're going to go side by side up to the Schneerberg ring chicane. Is someone going to lift, mate, or they're going too wide together?
Oh, well, let's see. Oh, Leaf does lift in. He fights another day. He fights another day. Wish some of the people had done that earlier after they had gone and decided to go too wide. Leaves tucked in as well. Nguyen's under all sorts of pressure. Coming out of 180. Here we go on the run up into Imola. Another chicane. Is McClimate going to be able to do it this time? This Mercedes is looking strong in the hands of McClimate. We've seen it in other hands and it hasn't looked like nothing more than Bambi on ice. But McClimate's got that car absolutely cemented through the floor onto Chateau d'Eure. Looks like Nguyen's run a little bit wide. Is this going to be McClimate's opportunity coming down into Chateau de Lici down at the end? Is he going to be able to get it here? Is not going to get it this time. Another lap, Pete. McClimate's going to be banging his head against the wall.
He's going to be loving it. This is what racing's all about, right? Good, fair driving. Both drivers are driving really fair. They're giving both lots of track space. And this is where you really earn your skill as a driver. It's not a case of first gap, take the overtake. It's what Leith is doing. Is Leith has got to get in his mirrors. He's got to go left, right. He's got to second guess him. He's got to make him think which way you're going. He's got to make him defend. He's got to make him use more tyres, and then he's going to find an opportunity. Here he goes. He's got the inside up in Adelaide, mate. He's going to get it this time.
Oh, McClimate's got the inside line. He's bullied him off. Is Nguyen going to run him out round the outside? Is Nguyen going to try to cut back? Can McClimate get the car done and stopped? He did. Nguyen did not. Oh, I don't know what he didn't do, but he didn't do something coming out of that chicane, because unfortunately for him, he has dropped behind McClimate now by about 3/10 on one corner there. He didn't. I don't really know what he did there, Pete. He didn't really defend, but he didn't really try and attack, which seemed a little bit weird.
No, I think Leith he's got his setup so well done. He's got Nguyen done easily under brakes, and he's been able to jump the curb. So he took a lot of curb in that hairpin, and the car settled really quickly and took off. So I think he's just left Nguyen for dead, and you're going to see Leith now pull away. So I think he's got the natural speed to go away. Nguyen probably knew that deep down, and he's probably like going, all right, you got me on the inside, you got the better of it, let's just get on with it. You get on with your race, I'll get on with mine.
Yeah, it looks like Melis, Lipsky, both of them have had awful races, but one man who hasn't had an awful race is this man. But what has he done here for Daniel Magri? Oh, that back end's coming round.
Oh, no, Dan. Oh, an Audi doing Porsche things. That's two Audis. Two Porsche things.
Oh, come on, who's in a Porsche? Somebody's got to do something, otherwise I'm losing a bet here. What happened to Mr. Arnott? He has had a shocking race this, I'd like to point out. Unfortunately, there's been multiple incidents he's been involved in, and some he's been involved in on his own. This was his last one on lap 48 here for Glenn. Unfortunately, there's been a couple of these moments for Glenn where the car just goes round, unfortunately, and that's why he's dropped him and thumped as well. So yeah, big old moments there for Glenn Arnott.
A little bit might be in a little bit of trouble there for driving after he was stopped, I think. So that's something that somebody might want to have a look at. But
well, they're not going to punish him. He's out of the race at the moment.
Yeah. Anyway, but certainly needs to be looked at. But yeah, that classic, going into 180 a little bit too late in the brakes, and back end of the Audi still Porsche things. Away they go.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's answered Nick's questions. But my question: what happened to Nick Wood tonight? Where's Nick?
I don't know. Only Nick can answer that question.
Yeah.
Nick, where are you? There we go. We'll find out.
Shout us out.
Yeah.
We're 25 minutes to go, mate. We've got to be getting close to seeing this pit stop issue settle out. But, anybody who pitted at that 1 hour mark to go, they could go as late as, let's say 10 minutes to go. Some of them now, anybody who didn't pit though, so we're saying, let's say 50 minutes. So we're probably in about the next at least 5 minutes. There's still another green flag to go. A little bit of safety car margin off the top of my head. So maybe 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to see the pit stop starting. Then we're going to see this race mix up. We'll see where people really are. But I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with the gap that Stewie Shaw and Sam Chapman have been able to pull out. 6.7 seconds on rain. So I think they're going to be close. I think right now, rain might have the advantage, and that advantage is not a no-stop advantage. That advantage will be
he's gone round! Scotty
Rankin!
In the
You just cost me a bet!
In the Porsche! Oh! He's got to be doing Porsche things! Up to the corner! Bliss! Look at the magic from Scotty Rankin on the screen! He's gone round Pete Baxter! That is another one!
I told you I was off him. If he used my set, that wasn't going to happen. But he changed sets late, and I'm off him. Yeah, not talking to him. I'm going to lose another bet.
That's another
Scotty Rankin, you are a devil.
That's another bet Pete Baxter's lost, unfortunately, to the Englishman. Nick Wood's got a valid excuse, mind you. He's in Brisbane, 5,000 kilometres away from his rig. So fair play, Nick, I'll give you that. Are you in Brisbane for anything particular, business or pleasure? There. Now McClimate is climbing all over Rankin, and unfortunately for that one, I'm going to have a think for the next few minutes or so. What can we give Pete as a forfeit? Everybody, let me know. I'll open it up to YouTube chat, and whatever you want to come up with, let me know on that one, and we'll see what we can get Mr. Pete Baxter doing this time around. Unfortunately, that's another one you've lost there, Pete. You might win one this season.
Scotty Rankin, you've done me, and I can't believe it. Anyway, well, I'll tell you what, Leith McClimate is flying, mate. He had a 4-second gap to Scotty. I know Scotty had his turnaround, but he is flying. He's pulled well and truly away from Vinnie Newen, like a long way. He's a man on a mission.
Yeah, I'd like to point out as well, just give you a quick message on that one, Pete. Newen went into the pit lane. He pitted on lap 56, so that could explain why he's a long way behind. But McClimate, you are right. In that Mercedes, though, regardless of where Newen is, in that Mercedes, he's absolutely flying. So on that one, business, he's going to miss the last race as well. For Nick, unfortunately, gutted on that one. It looks like Scotty and... what happened to... Hold on, I've lost a driver here. What happened to Dan Magry? Oh!
Dan had his... Oh!
That's what happened to Dan Magry.
Oh, Dan's burned his tyres out, I think. His first turn is probably... the indication that they're starting to get a bit bad, and he's got to adjust his driving style a little bit if that's happening now a couple of times, or maybe you want to look at the pit stop that he needs to have, but if it's only short fuel, he might have to cop himself some tyres. But that's going to hurt him for the race. He was looking strong for a podium, but I think that's going to drop him out.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm trying to find the actual moment there as well, because I think he just randomly snapped in that car. Coming in to the chicane. Curb on the inside. Yep. unfortunately for Dan Magri, and away he's gone and ended up in the kiddie litter for that one. McClymon's dropped back a little bit from Rankin, trying to make his way through. Let's pick up on the leader of the challengers, Martin Halloran, still out in front with Jesse McMinimum in second place and Sean Benici in third. So a nice little battle coming there, and of course the championship leader, Mr. Jamie Saxon, in behind him in fourth. So the front three, in the screen at the moment as well. So a nice little battle's developing in the challenger class there, Pete.
Yeah, and I know Adam, our resident calculator tonight, has thrown in 2 to 3 laps, and that was a couple of laps ago. It's kind of consistent with what I thought was about sort of 6 to 10 minutes for the pit stop. So we're about to see him. Hey JP, take a second for me. I'm just going to go and yell at Scotty Rankin for costing me a bet. I'll be for 2 seconds.
All right, mate. On that one, as while Pete goes on, don't forget, let us know what Pete's forfeit should be for losing the bet. If anybody's got anything exciting, Stewie Shaw's in the pits. Tommy Wallace is in the pits. Is there anything that we want Pete to do? I've had him posing outside drinking a pint of Foster's with the Union Jack flag on and all sorts of things on that one. So
anyway, JP, I just got I am bleep aware.
Oh, never mind. Tommy Wallace in, Magri's in, Shaw's in and out. He's now in 7th. Sam Chapman sitting in second, first now. Rain Campbell in 2nd place. So it's going to be where Rain could be. What is the gap to him and Mr. Shaw? 29, 29 seconds, I believe it to be, from Rain Campbell to Stewie Shaw. Let's just have a look. Give or take, yeah.
Just eking out a little bit now, so Stewie's on cold tyres. It's going to take a little bit to get up to speed, but yeah, just 29 seconds is the gap. So the difference was 6 seconds before he went in, and that's the real difference. It'll be the stop difference.
Yeah. Well, he's going to go again, Campbell. He has got a back marker in front of him, mind you. That is Kurt Nomerson in the Mustang. Through he goes through turn number 1. Now going into Estoril, the long looping right-hander comes all the way back on yourself. Nomison might be able to do him a favour, tow him down the back straight from Estoril down into Adelaide, but really he wants to be out the way before he gets any further in on that one. Is Nomison going to play the sensible game and allow him to take that inside line? No. Which I don't get. But he does give him the exit, and Nomerson there gives up Rain Campbell for the exit. So not too much of a hold up for Rain. He's now got to get on his bike a little bit, coming in through Nürburgring, going into 180. Where is he in conjunction with Chapman? Because Chapman is technically in front of him on the road.
Yeah, well, Chapman's 5 seconds in front of him, and again, Sam Chapman, he's got a 4-lap difference in fuel drop, so 5 seconds probably not enough. I think on corrected order, I think Rain will be in front of Sam. Not sure about where he's going to be. I think Stewie Shaw still might have it because he was able to eke out such a big gap before he went into the pits. But I tell you what, if I was in Rain's ear, and as soon as he knew that he was going to have to pit, you'd give up all fuel strategy and you'd just drive anyway.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I think he is. His last lap was a 37.3, so Rain Campbell's certainly flying.
Yeah, 37.7 for Chapman, 37.5 for Campbell. Obviously, there was overtaking of a back marker. Shaw is there. He's got Martin Halloran in front. This isn't a battle for class because obviously Halloran's in the Challengers. But as far as I can say about Halloran, he can race him as much as he wants at the moment because it is for on-track position. Oh, there you go. He clears him out of the way. Halloran goes into pit lane. So Martin Halloran in pit lane, and that does release Mr. Shaw on his way currently. So yeah, I think, Pete, I don't think we're going to be too far off your predictions where people coming in and people going out are going to be kissing each other on the way out the pit lane.
Well, I hope you're not too far from my prediction, mate. That's what the boys pay me for.
Well, that's also true, I suppose. They just pay me to be a pretty face. You know what I mean? They turn around and say I got a face for radio, Pete. You know what I mean?
Well, look, some of us have a face for radio, and some of us have an ability to actually do the calculations and think about what's really happening.
Yeah, that's why you're here. You're the brains, you see, Pete.
Apparently, but I'm being challenged by Adam tonight, so
yeah.
It's good to have a challenge. Somebody keeping me on my toes. So I think we've been fairly well aligned with what we've been saying. So that's pretty good. That's a tick for me. But if somebody come out there and said, "Oh no, Pete, you're completely wrong with all of these strategies," then I probably wouldn't be here in season 3.
Well, this is also true. This is also true. But this is why we love him. He loses bets, does forfeits, and comes up with a right pit strategy. So there we go. Can't argue too much of why we keep him around here as well. Pete on that one. Tommy Wallace, Latella, Brooke. Brooke fighting for the podium in the Challengers. And then in the background, we've got the Ford of Andrew Dutch. No further action between Lipsky for ignoring blue flags. No further action for ignoring them. So they're saying he ignored him, but they're not giving him a penalty. Is that right?
Well, he might have ignored them for 1 or 2 corners, which you're allowed to do. You don't have to pull over as soon as the blue flag flashes up, right? You do get a number of track sectors that race control give you a little bit of leeway, and that's up to their discretion. And say if you're close enough and it's now a reasonable spot to lift and let them go, then potentially, because if somebody's complained, he hasn't lifted for blue flags, but you're going through the chicane section, right? You can't slow down to lift, through those sorts of sections. You've got to get up through the hairpin and then wait and open it up. So that's race control's had a look at that. They've applied their discretion, and they think there's no question, no case to answer.
I'll tell you what, though, Brooke definitely made that back marker with no case whatsoever. Who is in that Ferrari, and why are you in the middle of this situation? Who is that?
No, we've
it's
seen
Lipsky.
that Ferrari a couple of times tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Lipsky. Obviously, that was the ignoring blue flags that we've just seen. No further action. Chapman's in the pit lane. Chapman's in pit lane, so we're going to kind of keep an eye out where Mr. Shaw is coming. He's on his way down into the final complex to lead cheat here. Chapman is still in pit lane, so we'll try and pick up. Well, unfortunately, he's under the bridge, which really sucks, but there we go. On that one, Chapman's on his way out. Shaw's not going to get him, I don't think.
No, he won't. Chapman's had a six seconds shorter fuel stop, mate. So there you go. So Sam Chapman's jumped Stewie Shaw,
and he has done quite comfortably.
That's right, and they were on the base strategy too. Now, what does this mean for Rain Campbell though? Because Rain's going to have a shorter fuel stop again.
Yep. So how far out is Rain going to be, do we think, on this one? In the Challenger classes at the moment, we've got, obviously, Jamie Saxon here in with Jesse McMinimum. Jesse leading the way in the Challengers currently, but he's still, I believe, got another stop to make there for Jesse, and it's going to be how they get on at this moment in time. What has that done for the leaderboard? Oh, Stewie Shaw's losing a lot of points by not taking this victory at this moment in time. I can see if it stays as it is at the moment. Stewie Shaw goes down to 1588. He was up in the 1600s earlier on. 1792 for Dean, 1345 for Alan Dawson. So unfortunately, that's a big loss for Stewie Shaw just by being in that place where he is at this moment in time. So there we go. Could be quite interesting on that one. In the Challengers, if it ends right now, Jamie Saxon 861, Isaac Curtis 663, Jesse McMinimum 634. So of course we'll keep an eye out on the live scores, but that is where they will be for the top 9 at this moment in time going forward on that one. Closest battle on track, Mr. Saxon has just gone into pit lane for me, so that's going to free up them, and it's going to be where this Mr. Martin Halloran comes out. But we saw this last time round, it's exactly the same part of the circuit as Stewie Shaw was when Chapman went in and Chapman come out in front. So is this Halloran losing the lead? Challenged, of course, at this moment in time as well. Going to lose the lead of this Challenger class.
Oh, that's hard to say. And again, it's fuel cycle stuff that's going on here tonight. Those that have been light on the pedal we're seeing that really pay out now. So let's see what happens. But I'm saying that I reckon Rain Campbell and Scotty Rankin have got at best probably 2 more laps of fuel. I think with about 8 minutes to go, we'll see them come in, and they're coming in for a 3-lap fuel stop. So no tyres, just a splash and dash. That's my call.
Oh, Adams brought it out, neck and neck, Rain and Sam. Oh, I'll tell you what, Adam, if you get this right, can you send me 6 numbers for the lottery? All right. Oh, Jimmy Middleton's just gone off. Is Rain going to dive in this time? He is. Here we go. Well, let's see what goes on. Rain's in pit lane. Sam's on his run down into the complex to Lichi. We're at the second to last corner, technically, on the circuit. Rain has stopped. He has stopped, and he is there behind at this moment in time. Rain Campbell. Sam Chapman's on his way down. Campbell's still not moving. He's moving now. Sam's moving now. I don't think he's going to get him. I think Sam's going to take the victory. Or he's going to get in front of him. Because Chapman at this moment, Rain.
And Stewie Shaw's got Rain. Shaw's got Rain. There you go. Rain had a 10-second pit stop, so that was probably about 2 seconds longer than I thought it might be. But 10-second pit stop was 7 seconds shorter than Stewie Shaw. So that gap. So really good move. I mean, it's an interesting route by Rain to get out there and have a go on pit stop. But that fuel save, we'll talk about Scotty Wrangler. He's out there. Scotty Rankin, he's gonna take a lead lap, but he won't be able to make it, mate. I'll call it now. He's gonna come in and have a fuel stop, but it's going to be probably a couple of seconds shorter than Rain's. But it probably won't put him in the fight. But there you go, mate. Sam Chapman pulled off a bloody mega drive.
He did. Out in front, Adam. Don't worry about the lottery numbers, mate. You're good. On that one, Stewie Shaw sitting in 3rd place. We think this is going to really obviously jiggle it up. We've got Scotty Rankin out on track. He's still got his never stop to make. We are on the understanding that he has got to make it unless he has extended the tank in the pit stop and has managed to produce more fuel than the car can actually handle. But he has got to go in again. There he goes. He does go in. Gets the car stopped as well. Sam Chapman on his way round the final corner. So is Stewie Shaw. So is Rain Campbell. So it should be ranking probably down below. I think, might be even in the mix. No, he's a bit far ahead of Tommy Wallace. So it's possibly Jesse McMinimum who has gone into the pit lane. So at the moment, though, Chapman leading the race. We've got 8 minutes to go here. Straight sprint now. Rain Campbell closing in on Stewie Shaw.
Yeah, so I'm calling it. So I'm saying 5 laps to go. So it's 0 + 1 in it. Is that's what we're seeing, or we're going to see Barney at with about 1 minute to go. So we've got 4 or 5 laps to go, and it is straight. And we know that Rain's had pace, so I think we're going to see some excitement here, mate.
We definitely are. It's going to be a right little ding-dong. We did say this, didn't we? It's like the Grand Prix. You've watched the beginning, you've gone to sleep through in the middle, and now you're watching the last 10 minutes because you know that's where the action takes place. I do that after me Sunday roast dinner. I've got to be honest, go and have a snooze on the sofa while they're on, and then come back just before they finish here as well. This is where we're at, guys. We've had that beginning exciting. We've had the middle bit with a safety car. Now we're going to get the end, the absolute barnstorming ending that we are sitting here hoping for, Pete. Let's hope we get it between these guys.
Oh, mate, I think we already have got it. Look at this. We have got 1.6 seconds between P1 and P3 after a race that has a safety car in it and 2 pit stops. That is just magnificent racing, and that's 3 guys that were on 2 different strategies across the course of the race. Also, we've got Sam Chapman, who has jumped to the lead when both of us, you and I, and I'll say it earlier, both of us expected Stewie Shaw and Rain Campbell to be out in front of Sam Chapman. So did we not give Sam enough credit? No, he has done an awesome job to be out there. Can he hold on?
Yeah, Mr. Provençal in YouTube chat. This is going to be interesting. Live championship points, please, says Adam Burhop. In the elites, okay? This is a situation with the elite standings. Let me just give it a quick refresh. At this moment in time, Dean Mackay, 1792, Stewie Shaw, 1628. That is currently the live standings if they end right now. That will be where we're at. So the elite class, they're doing a fantastic job on that one. Stewie Shaw doing what he had to do, but he also probably could have done with getting the win here. I can tell you now, in the Challenger class, it's got even closer. 709 for Saxon. Isaac Curtis on 673, Foz on 618. So that's not done. Going into the last round, either if it stays where it is, Saxon obviously dropping down the order, unfortunately for him at this moment in time. So he's all the way down in 27th, 7th in class. So Saxon going to lose an absolute mountain of points here over Isaac Curtis, who's going to be right in behind him. So keep an eye on that. We'll bring you an update towards the last sort of couple of minutes of where we're sitting here, depending on what happens with the position swaps on this one. Rain Campbell doesn't look like he can get close at the moment, though, Pete.
Yeah, but I don't think Stewie Shaw can get close either on Sam Chapman. So, are these guys all right, just at their limit, and it's going to take a mistake to change it up? I know Rain just touched the grass there, so that's going to pull him back a little bit more, but he's managed to maintain the gap. They're all just sort of in that sort of 0.5 to 1 second mark, which a little bit of lap traffic coming up. Maybe this might play a part. No, who is that? Oh, that's our man. That's our man Lipsky. He's done a right thing by pulling out, getting away, getting out of the race. Well done, that man.
Yeah, Campbell now closing in on Shaw. The gap's coming down on the left-hand side. 4 tenths. I don't think it's going to be enough because Shaw's getting the draft down to Chapman. So these three are literally going tooth nail. This is a straight sprint. Nothing else here can take shape unless we have some major safety car, which would be mighty, I guess, that could cause it, but I don't think we should have one here as well. And I bet you RC are dreading, if there is an incident, whether or not they're going to be able to get one, or they've got to call one, because they don't really want to be doing that on this time.
No, mate, RC have already turned the motor off on the safety car, and they have called request to tows approved. So we are green flag to the end on this one. Awesome
job. Right, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be close, Dean. It is. What has Campbell got in that Audi? What has the 2 Porsches got? We've seen a Porsche go round. Scotty Rankin, thank you very much. We've seen Rain Campbell we haven't seen Rain Campbell, but we've seen other Audis go round as well towards the end of the stints. So is this going to be now, Pete? Who can keep it on track? Could end up coming out eventual winner.
It could be, but I think I certainly know that Rain Campbell is not going to die wondering. He is going to give absolutely everything to have a crack. He looks like to be a little bit stronger than Stewie Shaw under brakes at the moment. Now, when I say that, it's really, really marginal a little bit. But he looks to be a little bit stronger just under brakes going into Adelaide. But Stewie Shaw seems to have the grip through turn 1 and 2 to get the gap that he needs to save off what Rain's getting under the draft and under brakes. So I don't think there's anywhere else really, unless it's a silly dive. I think, we've seen Rain make some pretty aggressive moves, but I will say that when he's racing for P2 in this, he's probably going to be. He's still going to have to think quite smart. But I'd say that a super aggressive move at this stage of the race would be quite a dumb thing to do.
Yeah, Campbell quicker in Sector 1. Let's pick up on what they're going to do. Sector 2, it's halfway down this straightaway. Is Campbell quicker again? It does look like 1 and 3. Campbell does produce the goods in that Audi. And 2, he looks like he struggles a little bit. He did. There you go, not the slowest. Shaw was the slower away from Chapman this time. Now we're going into 3. This is the moment that Campbell has really been producing the goods in Sectors 3. He can nail that corner. He's going to get the exit again. Shaw did not get a good exit. Another back marker shifting out the way. A smashed up back marker as well, mind you, with no front end. What's going to happen for Sectors 3 here? Who's going to get it? Who's going to be the fastest? It looks like Chapman's breaking away. We're going to have 1 and 1 more. Literally only 2 more laps on the clock now before this is all done and dusted. And this great battle again. Chapman was faster than the other 2 going into the final sector. Chapman's opened the door up now, Pete. He stretched his legs a little bit, and he, at the moment, seems to be opening up that gap. Gap's out at a second.
Yeah, it is. Maybe Stewie Shaw's got a little bit more in his mirrors that he really wanted to bargain for, and he hasn't necessarily got the same gap that he's had on Rain Campbell. So Rain's getting into his mirrors. He's putting the pressure on. This is really interesting stuff.
Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. It's 1.2. You're holding him up. Rain, if you're going to, I don't even know if you're going to get a shot now, son, but you need to clear him ASAP. He has either got no grip or is saving his absolute mightily head off here. And if you want to even remotely have a sniff of getting near Chapman, you're going to have to clear Shaw, I think. I think Shaw's bordering on the line of struggling a little bit, Pete, because Campbell's all over him.
Campbell's all over him, and Sam Chapman seems to have the measure of both. He's pulled out 0.7, so nearly a second, and I think that's going to be enough to see Sam Chapman home, but I don't think this is over between Rain Campbell and Stewie Shaw. I think Rain's going to be really getting his measure. Don't do anything silly now, but really get out of that last chicane quickly, come through 1 and 2, and then let's just get a draft competition up into Adelaide for the last hairpin. I think that will be what determines where they come in the end of this race.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, get ready to hold on to your cups, hold on to your food, whatever you're holding. I'd probably suggest you put it down. It's now the final lap of the race. Who's got nails left? Who's got the steelies to go and really send it on the inside? Campbell did not get a good run out of 1. Chapman got a run, but he did not get it. Stewie Shaw did not get a run. This is it, the final lap, the final moment here of round number 6. Currently, Rain Campbell in 3rd place, Shaw in 2nd, Chapman in 1st. Gap's half a second between the 3. It's about a second between the 3 at the moment. Now it's coming down again. We haven't got long, Pete, and there ain't many opportunities left.
No, I think that's the last real opportunity without a crazy dive, and Rain's not close enough for a crazy dive at any point. Maybe that last hairpin up at a molar when they go up through the chicane, but I don't think he's close enough, for a dive at that stage. But Sam Chapman, he did lose a little bit coming out of 1 and 2 then, but he's got this in the hand. I'm pretty sure Sam's got this. But yeah, let's just keep an eye on Rain. I think Rain's the kind. He's got to have a look, right? But it won't be crazy look.
It's got to have a go coming through the final couple of corners. There is a back marker up the road as well. That's going to make this spicy if they're going to catch that back marker, because I can tell you one thing, it's not going to be helpful. That gap has come down. It was out nearly 9 tenths. It's down to 6 tenths now. Final corner to go. Chapman is trying to hug the back end of that Mustang. He's got 2 meter wide arms. Sam Chapman's going to come through. It turned into be an anticlimactic ending. Chapman's going to take the victory. It is going to be Sam Chapman wraps up the win. Shaw in 2nd, Campbell in 3rd. No action. They didn't move. They didn't swap. Campbell went over the line by about a 10th at the moment in time on that one, and it's gonna be Jesse McMinimum in the challengers that's gonna take the victory. So fair play, Jesse, on that one. He's up 15 places, the biggest gainer in the race altogether. Pulled an absolute masterstroke out at the moment. Great running by Jesse there. He went under the radar a little bit, Pete, and popped himself up in the lead.
He did. He's sort of up in the top 10 at some stage, through the pit stop, and I'm going, we haven't said McMinimum, because that's a name you remember when you say it. It's a really cool name, right? And, I'm like, Jesse's flying under the radar tonight. And then, there you go, pops out in front in the Challenger class. So kudos to Jesse. Well done. Fozzie in the lime green milkshake machine comes on P2 for Challenger class. Always love that livery, mate. Keep that on the car, and you'll keep me excited every time. And then who was it? Come
Ben
third,
Brook.
mate. Ben Brook. Ben Brook come third, and we know Ben was in a bit of action through the night. So Ben might be ruined some of that bit of action that he was in, because if he had a time penalty, that will cost him a little bit of time after the race too. So that might cost him third, because it was Marty Howland's only 1.2 behind him. So maybe a bit provisional there in terms of third place or the podium for Challenger.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the quick elite situation. We're going to get through the challengers first. You can see that gap has closed to 6 points. Don't forget, drop scores incoming after this round. No drop on the final round. Saxon 709, Curtis 703. Tune in for Watkins Glen, because it's going to be icy in the elite situation? Well, you can see it on your screen there. Dean Mackay 17.92, Stewie Shaw 16.28. Drop scores for Mackay will be 0 because obviously he's had a drop score today where he hasn't turned up, so that should be a 0 drop. We'll see at the moment for Stewie Shaw. I believe it was like 130 points he's going to lose. So Dean probably got to turn up and try and get to the end on the next race. That's going to be about it. I've got a funny feeling Chapman's out of fuel and Foz is Scotty Rankin is trying to give him a nudge here because you can see he's out of puff. Scotty giving him a little bit of a nudge as he's trying to get him to the end of the race. Nice racing. Probably not quite the ending we thought we would get, Pete, because as you said, we expected either Rain or Shaw or Chapman to, Chapman being in the lead, Rain and Shaw to have a go at each other, but they didn't really over the last couple of laps.
Mate, I think they all had it on the limit and they all raced as hard as they could, which is all we can ask for, but it wasn't hard enough, or there wasn't a big enough difference between all of them on the limit to get them close enough to have an overtake. So kudos to Sam Chapman by running out of fuel. He has shown that he just absolutely put to the limit his fuel saving and his fuel drop, because it was the fuel drop that made the difference for Sam Chapman coming out and getting out in front of Stewie Shaw. That made a big difference, and he only just had enough to get over the line. So massive, whoever's doing his crew chief, and I hope he gives them a big shout out. So that's awesome work by Sammy Chapman. He's really earned that, I think, tonight.
Absolutely. Let's start with the third place man in the booth. I cannot move anyone. Pete, can you try and move Rain Campbell up for me?
There we go.
There we go. So joining us in the booth now is the man that finished in third place, ran an alternate strategy, but he did end up getting second. At one point, we thought he was going to get second place towards the end of the race over Stewie Shaw, but he did manage to come home in third. That's your man, your myth, your legend, Mr. Rain Campbell. Rain, welcome in, bud.
Hey guys, how you going?
I'm right, mate. How are you?
Oh, look, not too bad. Jumped in with sort of very minimal practice. Wasn't planning on racing tonight, and it sort of come to me as the race went on. So, no, it was good fun.
Yeah, what was the deal with the strategy kind of situation you had running there?
Yeah, so I was planning to go half and half so I could take tyres in both stops. That was the plan, obviously. And the safety car come out. So I knew that if I stayed out in the lead, I wasn't going to pull 5-6 seconds, I think, was the difference from Stewie. So I had no choice but to pit. I knew that the gap was pretty big to at least come back in a relative position, but it was either that or I was going to be nowhere. So it's one pill or the other, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, you did a great job and taking that third place in there as well. So, you've got to be happy with third. Puts you up in about sixth going into Watkins Glen, only about 24 points, I think, away from Wallace in fifth. Are you looking at the scores, Rain, and thinking, do you know what? I possibly could get fifth going into Watkins?
I think you'll find once the drops get calculated that I'll actually be about third, because I've had a 0 where they haven't had drops counted yet, the 2 in front of me, or 3 in front of me. So I think I'll be about third once that's calculated, but not too much. Like, obviously, we'll just try and do the best race we can, as always.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think that Tommy Wallace so your lowest is a 28. Tommy Wallace has had a 28, and Eli's had a 32. Dallin Dawson might be the one who loses out most out of what you've just said. But
are the standings right now? Because they had changed a fair bit and they seemed a bit off, but I'm not sure.
No, they are live. Yep.
Yeah, they are live standings as they are right now. So there we go. But Rain, thanks so much for joining us there, bud. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to the whole Blackout OPR teams. I've obviously changed teams since the last Pell race I've done. Thanks for the Blackout guys.
Awesome job, Rain. Thanks so much for joining us on that one, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks at Watkins Glen.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. We'll let Pete move you out. Let's come in with the Challenger second place as well there, Pete. Mr. Mark Foster, please. And we'll bring in Foz, who finished second in the Challenger class here as well, up 5 places from the beginning. Let's see how he felt that race went in that lovely looking Mr. Corvette there as well. Mark, welcome in, bud.
Thanks, JP. Pete, how are you guys?
I'm all good, mate. Just watched a great racing. Me and Pete are happy. Pete lost another bet, so I've got to find.
I heard.
Yeah, I've got to do a forfeit. Come up with a forfeit on that one for him again.
Can I put in a protest in relation to the livery of that said green Porsche as well? There was no permission to use those colours granted by me, so I'm a little bit miffed about that.
Oh, well, he also ended up putting it round in a circle, Mark, as well. So
yeah, I know. He still did all right. It was good to have him racing.
Yeah, he did on that one.
I think you might find there's 2 numbers difference in the shade of lime thick shake. He's got a little bit of extra ice cream in his shade.
That's how he gets around the copyright laws then.
Yeah, that is it, Mark. Change it just a little bit. You know what I mean? There we go. On that one, how was it out there for you, mate? It looked very interesting.
It was tough. Really hard to overtake, as probably everyone else has said. I think I may have messed up my pit strategy. I'd short filled just after the first pit stop, and then I decided to pit during the safety car, and I probably shouldn't have. Put me back in traffic. So I think that's where I lost out a little bit, but I was happy with where I ended up coming back to. I was rapt to see Jesse get up and have a win because he's been racing for a long time, and I feel bad for Marty Hallinan, who had that little incident in the last lap. I was having a good fight with him too, so bad luck to him.
Yeah, it was great running between the 3 of you at one point, and it looked like it was going to be an absolute barnstormer with Ben Brook up there as well. Going into Watkins Glen as well, Mark, how do you see that going for you?
It's all. I've missed 2 rounds, so I'm interested to see where the points are going to come out with the drop round is taken into account. So that's how I'm hoping I'm still going to be up there. I don't know where Jamie Saxon finished up, so it'll be interesting to see the points. And then, yeah, if I'm in with a shot, I'll give it everything.
Right, well, you're in with a shot because you're only 61 points. 61 points back away from Mr. Saxon. Isaac Curtis has just taken the lead in the challenges. Don't forget
he's flying, so that's to be expected.
Yeah, you got drop weeks added as well. But Mark, listen, been a pleasure as always there, bud. Looking forward to seeing you at Watkins Glen. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Oh, just to obviously the team DMT. We've had a good race tonight. Pity about Ronnie missing out. And just to my own sponsors, which is Colourful Learning Toy Store and Fred Peanut Kids Boutique.
Awesome.
Cheers, guys.
Awesome job, Mark. Well, take care, buddy. Look forward to seeing you at Watkins.
Thanks, guys. You will. See ya.
Right, let's have a chat. Let's go in now with Mr. Stewie Shaw. Please, Mr. Baxter, as we've gone 3, 2, 1. Let's have a chat with him as well. He led from the beginning of the race. He knew what he had to do on the green flag. He had to get out in front. He did that. He did it amazingly. As it developed, though, with pit stops going on at the same time, he ended up in behind Sam Chapman coming over the last half part of the racetrack as well. Didn't manage to quite do it. Had more pressure from Rain Campbell than he was able to put on Mr. Chapman in front. But he come over the line in second place anyway, and that is Mr. Stewie Shaw. Still holds second in the elites at the moment, going into Watkins. Let's have a chat with him now. Stewie, welcome in, bud.
Thanks, guys. Good race, that one.
Enjoy that?
Not really.
Oh.
bit close for comfort at the end there. Sam being on the team, I don't think he's running our livery though, so it might be tricky watching from the broadcast. But we were talking championship the whole last 5 laps, and he was like, "Oh, do I let him go? Do I not?" I'm like, "Nah, you just keep doing you, man," because Rain Campbell's all over me.
He definitely was. He wasn't giving you an ounce of room there either, Stu. And at the end of the day, you managed to hold on. Going forward for you as well, though. Scores on the doors, still going to be quite close going into Watkins. So it's going to be, I think, roundabout, I think it was like 150 come drop weeks all involved as well. Do you go into Watkins and still hope that you can take the championship?
Yeah, I think so. I think anything can happen, as we see with random timed safety cars and fuel strategies and lap traffic. I think Dean got caught up at the Oschersleben round when I won it. So, yeah, anything can definitely happen there. So we just need to wait and see.
Well, looking forward to seeing how that one pans out for you as well. But well done for your run at Magny-Cours here. So it was a great job. Congratulations on your second place. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, AEDT, Kibby, Bunnies Builds, and Shaw by 4, and Soodspeed Gloves. Yeah, sport's been amazing.
Awesome job. Well, thank you so much, Stu, for joining us there, bud. I look forward to seeing how you get on at Watkins.
Cheers, guys.
Take care. Right, next up in a booth, we will have a chat with our elite class, challenger class winner, Mr. Jesse McMinimum. As we bring him in to the booth, he went under the radar like a little ninja, does Jess. We didn't see much of him until towards the end when he gained 15 places, popped it up into the lead of challengers as well. And next thing you know, comes over the line and wins it. Where did he come from? We don't know. I'm sure he'll be able to tell us. Jesse, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Hey guys, how you going?
I'm
Oh,
good.
man, my heart is still racing.
Dude, you snuck under the radar. What went on there?
Took a bit of advice from Pete actually.
Oh, dear me.
Fuel safe.
Oh,
okay.
dear.
Fuel safe.
Dear me. Oh, God. All right.
I'm not fast enough to get there on pace, so I just tried my hand at fuel saving and popped out where I did. So
I love it, Jesse. Well done. That's a really, really good call out. If you're not fast enough to get there on pace, you've got to be fast enough to get there somehow. So, and you made it. And number one in challenger class, P12 overall. What a fantastic result.
yeah, just try to keep it clean and out of all the mess really, and yeah, lucked it.
Well, you did there, sir, as well. That brings you up within fourth place in the challenger standings at this moment in time on the live sheet that we are looking at. Going into Watkins Glen, no, Jez. What's that going to bring for you? Because we know Watkins. Everybody knows Watkins. We know what could happen if you get the boot wrong. We know what could happen if you get it all completely wrong. What do we think Jesse's aim is going to be for that one?
To try and get through the bus stop.
Good call.
That is always my kryptonite. So, I don't know. We'll see how we go. Better put in some practice and, drink some juice.
Yeah, nail that entry into the bus stop and hug that barrier on the right-hand side, and let's hope you don't end up smacking it there as well. But Jesse, listen, dude, you've done an incredible job. As we say, snuck under the radar, gained 15 places. Stellar run there, mate. Congratulations on your win in Challengers. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Just the boys in the team. Vinny for being a good wingman, and just our sponsors, Juice Energy. There's a few other, but I haven't got the list in front of me, so sorry guys. Racecraft, Stotthor, and Soodspeed. So
Awesome job.
them, we couldn't race, so thank you.
Good job there, Jess, as well. Well done on that one. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Look forward to seeing you at Watkins in a couple of weeks' time.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Take
See you
care.
next time.
We might even talk about Jesse a bit more next race, mate. Now that
Well, now we know he's on the racetrack, mate. He's snuck in, didn't he? Right.
That's right.
Next up on in the 4A chat is Mr. Sam Chapman, your winner here as well, and he's done an absolute stellar job. Pit stops played a massive part. His driving played a massive part. He just had something left for the last couple of laps to give himself a gap going over the line, and he did end up wrapping it up by 1.46 seconds. Trust me, it was on the cards to be closer, but he pulled it out of the bag. He's joined us in the booth now as well, Mr. Sam Chapman. Sam, welcome in, bud.
Yeah, thanks, right. Yeah.
Good race.
Yeah, good race. Great little team race. It always helps when you've got a teammate up the front with you, and you can play around with that. So it was really good. Stu drove really well. So yeah, super happy with that. It was super. I was worried about rain, given the fuel advantage he had. And it was just looking a bit close. So when we went around another lap, I went, and then another lap, I was just sort of going, yeah, this is going to be super tight. But yeah, we're able to both get out ahead, which surprised me. So yeah, stoked with that.
Yeah, definitely. It was always going to be very, very tight. I don't think you could have allowed Stewie to get ahead. I think Rain would have been trying to follow him through at the same time, to be honest with you, Sam. I think that was the thing for you guys out there as well. Working as a team helped. Is there always, though, when you've got your teammate in behind you, we know Stewie's in the championship fight, and you want to let him through, do you not want to get like a little bit of a selfish streak and say to him, look, Stewie, you're going to do it on the racetrack, son. I ain't letting you through.
Nah, like I'm not in the championship battle. So if I can get him closer, I would, I was trying to do that, but the gap just wasn't, it wasn't close, far enough away for Rain just to be able to do it safely, unfortunately. So no, I mean I'm happy to do it. You still know that you got there in the end on pace, and he gets the points if that was the case. So that wouldn't really bother me in the end. But either way, it didn't happen that way, and I'm on the top step. So it's that's a nice place to be. I think it's the first time on the podium for the GT3 at least.
I think so.
Yeah. So no, happy with that, and it's a tricky race, tricky track, but once you got to get into a bit of a flow with it, which I clearly hadn't by turn 2 after wobbling wide. So, but yeah, was able to sort of get into the flow after that and find some decent pace and manage the race.
Yeah, well, you did do that as well. And so are we saying then, Sam, as we head into Watkins Glen, we're going to see yourself, we're going to see Trent, we're going to see Leaf? Is it going to be the Tour de France scenario where you put Stewie at the front and you defend the living daylights out of him?
Well, I guess so. We'll see how we go. It depends where we qualify. This is one of, I'm not known for actually qualifying that well and getting the practice in to do so. So, and that was the big benefit for tonight, particularly around this track where it's next to impossible to overtake. And track position is so essential. So we'll see how we go. I can't imagine Watkins will be the best track for the Porker. But we'll find out. We'll do a bit of pracky, and we'll see how we can get the team involved, because we've got quite a few guys that have good pace and are running good races at the moment. So we may just be able to try and help Stu get it over the line. There's a little bit of a gap there, but and then as well, with Teams Championship looking good now, that's a great thing for us too.
Yeah, absolutely. You're still out in front, albeit, mind you, by not a lot of points. Let me just give that a quick refresh. 3-4-4-7 over 3-4-2-8. So there's not a lot of difference there as well. But Sam, thank you so much for joining us, bud. Well done on your victory as well, on your first podium, I believe. So congratulations on that one. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, so all the REI guys, good to be in there having a chat. Stu also did the setup as well. So thanks for putting a quick setup together for us to be able to get that one too. But yeah, all the sponsors for RER, so Sudspeed, get your racing gloves, code for Revolution if you want a discount. Kibby, IR Sidekick, Bunny's Builds, and Shoy Force. So thanks to all those guys, and as usual, thanks for you guys for putting on a broadcast, and all the organisers for putting it together.
Awesome job. Well done, Sam. Thank you so much for joining us, mate, and we look forward to seeing you at Watkins Glen.
Thanks, JP.
Take care, man. So there we go. That was Mr. Sam Chapman, who I cannot put back down. I'm sure Pete's going to have a go on that one for me. But thank you so much for everybody. Pete, great racing. Chapman taking the win. They did look to swap Shaw, but Campbell made that a little bit impossible for them. So, going into Watkins, is it going to be a Revolution e-racing defending Stewie Shaw as much as possible?
I think Sam hit the nail on the head there. You've got to qualify well to be able to play team tactics. So everybody's got to be able to qualify to be up there. But I think Rain did his job tonight. He did everything possible to take other positions off Stewie Shaw. Yeah, he just, he had speed, but just not enough that made the difference to get in front. And that the fuel game that Sam Chapman played was, the masterstroke of the race in my view tonight. Being able to fill up that precisely to get through and make the jump of essentially both Stuart Shaw and Rain Campbell, was the difference in the race tonight. And look, I agree, even though they were looking to sort of turn them round, Rain was far too close to be able to do it. They could have turned into all sorts of disaster. So, good on the boys. So they put on a fabulous race as far as I'm concerned. Some people might want to see the Biff and Barge in the last 2 laps, but, it was there. It was tense. It was tight. It was great. And at the end of the day, 0.8 seconds between P1, 2 and 3 after 2 hours is magical racing. So well done to those lads.
Yeah, absolutely. Stellar job here. Thank you so much to everybody that's joined us today as well. Mr. Adam Burhop, who's come in and given us all the tidbits and that. Our own very residential Ted Gravitz on that one. Much love to everybody else. But for now, guys, that's going to be it for us for now. Join us, don't forget, on December the 15th for round 7 at Watkins Glen. It's going to be absolutely amazing battles, and the end. All classes still up for fights. But for now, guys, take care. Have a great week. And from myself and Pete Baxter, might see you on the track sometime. Good night.
Yep.